What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Blazers Uprise Live here on the main Blazers Uprise channel because we're going to be discussing a free agent signing, which was Jaylen Adams. It was reported earlier today by Adrian Wojnarowski. It's kind of weird to be back here on the main channel. Haven't done a stream on here for a while. If you've been completely out of touch for months and don't know what we've done, we've created a second channel specifically for live streaming. There's a link down in the description below if you're interested in subscribing to that. That's where we're going to do our what we used to call our podcast. Now we just call it Blazers Uprise Live. The date isn't up to date on that graphic. Oh well, I don't care about that. Actually, I'm just going to get rid of it then. There we go. But yeah, so we moved things over to a brand new live streaming channel. For post-game shows, we will be streaming a bit of it here, and then we'll transition to the second channel. So that's in case you haven't been paying attention to what's going on, in case you just jumped back into this channel because the Blazers actually did something, because we actually have something substantial, or not substantial enough for some people. So anyway.
Looking at you, all these guys that are in here right now that haven't been in streams lately.
Yeah. Shout out to all you guys.
What's
man.
up, Dave Gibson, Dionysus?
So yeah, I figured since this was a signing, we'd live stream it on the main channel. That's probably what I'll be doing from here on out. If the Blazers make a signing, I'll live stream it on the main channel, and then like the first hour post game shows will be streamed on the main channel as well, and then everything else that's streamed will be on the second channel, on the live streaming channel. So anyway, for those of you who also haven't been paying attention, I got a brand new mic. Hopefully I sound good to you guys. I don't know how I couldn't sound good to you guys with this brand new mic. So yeah, just been grinding away. So it's good to see some of you guys. It's good to be live on this channel again. And the Blazers ended up making a move today, and it's not the move that most Blazer fans wanted. It was a 6-foot guard from the G League named Jaylen Adams. So Eric, I'll let you take over from me for this one. Tell me what you think about this signing. What do you think Olshey's trying to do? What do you think the plan was with this? Because a lot of Blazer fans are confused and don't really understand this move.
So I was surprised. Not that I expected them to sign a big name, but with the position they signed. I thought about it a little bit, and if they're comfortable with the roster they have and feel comfortable with Trent and Little splitting most of the minutes at small forward, that leaves just CJ, Dame, and Simons as the only guards on the roster. So my thinking is they were just like, you know what, we better have an emergency guard just in case. I don't expect Jaylen Adams to play that much unless he just far outplays Anthony Simons at stretches, and it becomes obvious, like in the playoffs last year when it became obvious that Hood and Collins were better options than Amino and Harkless, like that type of thing. But I don't really expect both Simons or Adams to get a ton of playing time. I think Simons will get a little bit of a opportunity to earn some more playing time as it goes on in the little restart, but I think he's going to have a really short leash. But I think this is basically just, we don't want to mess with the roster we have right now by bringing in a guy that would demand minutes or that Stotts would possibly play over some other guys. And I think they just went with someone that they could maybe just take a look at for a few games and maybe sign in the future. Doesn't give them their bird rights, but he probably wouldn't command much more than the minimum next year anyway.
Yep. So I have no problem with the signing. I'm actually I'm happy with the signing, and it's not because of who we signed. It's because of who we didn't sign. I have been outspoken against us going out and getting like an Iman Shumpert or a J.R. Smith, because what would happen if we went out and got one of those guys? They would probably start and play 30 minutes per game. Stotts in the past has shown a bias towards veteran players, especially washed-up veteran players. It goes back to Myers playing over Collins during Collins' rookie year, when Collins, you could tell he's a better player than Myers. I mean, it goes back to even this year with Nasir Little not playing enough. It goes back to, this year you also had Kent Bazemore playing far more than Gary Trent at the start of the season, and I thought it was obvious early on in the season that Gary Trent Jr. was at least as good as Kent Bazemore was, but you still had Kent Bazemore out there getting 30 minutes and Gary Trent Jr. getting 12 if he was lucky at the start of the season. So I think Stotts has always shown a bias towards veteran players. So for me, it was like, if we go out and get an Iman Shumpert, if we go out and get a J.R. Smith, Stotts is probably going to start them and play them 30 minutes a game, just based on what he's done in the past. I don't want that. Even if their presence on the roster might make our roster a little bit better, I don't think it'd put us in a better situation having an Iman Shumpert play 30 minutes per game and taking minutes away from Gary Trent Jr. and Nasir Little. Gary Trent Jr. is far better than Iman Shumpert at this point in his career. I think they're honestly similar defensively. Gary Trent Jr. is a much better shooter, much more efficient player. So it was like, okay, I was worried that we were going to go sign an Iman Shumpert and then Stotts was going to end up playing that guy 30 minutes a game, and Gary Trent Jr.'s minutes get cut and Nasir Little's minutes get cut. And I did not think that was going to make the team better. I thought, if anything, that was just going to make the team worse. And if people want to say Iman Shumpert is equal to Nasir Little, that's fine. I'd still rather have Nasir Little play because he's actually a part of our long-term future. The only way I'd place somebody above Nasir Little was if they were noticeably better than Little. And I don't think anybody out there on the market was noticeably better than Nasir Little. So I was worried that we were going to go out and sign somebody that take minutes away from our young guys, and I was not a fan of that. So that's why I'm happy with this signing, because it wasn't somebody that's going to go take away minutes from our young guys. It's another young guy who's not really proven, who just adds some ball handling depth, because we only have 3 legitimate ball handlers on the roster, and Anthony Simons is kind of questionable in that regard, so you could say we only have 2 legitimate ball handlers on the roster. So adding another ball handler for depth reasons, I'm fine with that. You know, we still have 3 small forwards. We still have Nas, Gary Trent Jr., Mario Hezonja. I don't want Mario playing, but I'm hoping that Stotts is going to make the right decision with the rotation by starting Gary Trent Jr. and having Nasir Little come off the bench, because he doesn't have any other options, if that makes sense.
I'm going to pull a little Lee Corso here and say not so fast, my friend, because technically we still have an open roster spot, and it's still possible that we sign someone else. I've heard a rumor that someone talked to almost every GM of teams that are going back on this restart, and every single one of them said that they would not even think about bringing less than 17 players to the restart. And even with signing Adams, we're only at 16. Now, we know that during the regular season, they already said they weren't going to sign someone to that spot. But now that Ariza opted out, they actually still save money, even if they do sign someone to that. And I think signing Adams to the contract they did to replace Ariza, you can only sign him for the rest of this season. You cannot do any kind of non-guaranteed or team option for next year. Guaranteed contract next year. So, are we lagging? No, we're back. So a guy like Shumpert or Gerald Green or something, we could give them a contract for the rest of this season and possibly multiple seasons down the road. It doesn't even have to be guaranteed. We could have an option to sign them next year or to waive them by a certain date, and then they'd be off the team. But it's still an option. So until we actually go with the roster we have, I'm not going to get too excited about not having one of those guys, because we might still do something like that.
It just doesn't make sense from this regard. Jaylen, if we went out and signed a 15th guy to that last roster spot, they couldn't play in the postseason, correct?
That's not correct. It's only if it's if they were on a roster after March 1st.
Okay.
So like Alonzo Trier, who just got cut by the New York Knicks, or if Harkless got cut right now, we couldn't sign those guys and have them be playoff eligible. But a guy like Shumpert, who was off the team by March 1st, is eligible to be signed and played. Same with Gerald Green.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense now, because here I was thinking that if they went out and signed a Gerald Green with that last roster spot, that Gerald Green couldn't play in playoffs. And it's okay, why would you sign Jaylen Adams to be able to play in playoffs and Gerald Green can't? But since that last roster spot they if it's a Gerald Green or an Shumpert or J.R. Smith, those guys would be able to play in the postseason. It does make that does make more sense. So here's my whole thing with this side. Like, I'm happy that, I don't know. I want Gary Trent Jr. and Nasir Little to play as much as possible. I don't think there's really an option out there that would make me say, okay, that guy should play more than Nasir Little and Gary Trent Jr. The guy I'm highest on right now is Gerald Green, but I'm not entirely sure Gerald Green would be better than Nasir Little. The past, I don't know, I saw somebody say the past 3 months Nasir Little has shot 35% from three. His form improved a ton. Like, if Nasir Little can be a decent three-point shooter, why is Gerald Green any better? They're both athletic guys. Gerald Green was a 36% three-point shooter. Obviously a lot more proven in that regard and shot a higher volume than Nasir Little ever has, but Nasir Little's a better defender. They're both athletes. Nasir Little can bang inside a little bit more, so he has a little bit more positional versatility. He can swing up to the four, where I don't think Gerald Green has that ability. So it's like, with a guy like Gerald Green, yeah, he's intriguing, but the dude hasn't played in a year because he was injured. And he's also getting up there in age. And a lot of his game is athleticism based. So who knows if he even has that same athleticism anymore. And if he doesn't have that same athleticism anymore, he might just be an absolute scrub. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not entirely sure that Gerald Green would be a better option than Nasir Little. I wouldn't mind signing a Gerald Green, but for me, it's just like, I'm not going to get upset if the Blazers don't sign a small forward, because I don't think there's an option out there that you just have to go and get that would be noticeably better than what we already have.
The only thing I'll say to that is I do think they need just like one more like kind of wing guy for some depth now, in case you need to play a bigger lineup against bigger teams. And I'm afraid that they're going to play Melo at the three a little bit in those situations, and I don't want them to do that. I think that'd be a disaster.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why I would say I wish they'd have a guy like Gerald Green, who doesn't even have to play, but just in case they need like a little bigger lineup or need to move Trent more to a backup guard instead of, because if like Simons and Adams both struggle and then we don't have really a backup guard because Trent's playing small forward, we don't have a lot of options there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get that, but I don't know. It's just not something that I think is urgent, is a pressing need. You know what I mean? Like, you still have Mario Hezonja there. I understand that people don't want Mario Hezonja to play, and I know that there are small forward options out there on the market that are better than Mario Hezonja, but like, the only way I see Mario Hezonja playing is, one, if Stotts is a complete idiot and plays Mario Hezonja over Nasir Little, which shouldn't be the case, but Stotts has proven that he might be willing to do that. Or the second reason Mario Hezonja might play is if somebody gets injured. If Anthony Simons gets injured, Gary Trent Jr. is going to have to play more guard, and Mario Hezonja is going to have to fill those small forward minutes that Gary Trent Jr. is getting switched over to guard. If one of our centers gets hurt, if Nurkic or Whiteside gets hurt, you're probably going to look at Collins playing a lot more five, which opens up minutes at the four, which would probably be filled by Mario Hezonja. If Collins didn't play more backup center, then you'd have to have Caleb Swanigan most likely replacing Nurkic or Whiteside, which is just as bad as Mario Hezonja. So it's kind of like, no, I don't see why it necessarily has to be a small forward, because either way, like pretty much any position, if one player gets hurt, you're going to have to slot in Mario Hezonja into the rotation. You know, why not go out and get like a backup center that could step in if Nurkic or Whiteside got hurt? You know, Stotts wouldn't play that backup center over Nurkic and Whiteside. And then if one of our two centers got hurt, you could have the guy we signed to be that third string center slot in. You could keep Collins at the four and not have to play Mario there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you just mentioned it, but I think if either Nurkic or Whiteside can't play, I think Collins would just default back to the backup power forward, and they just run it or backup center.
Yeah.
I think go that way.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It'd open a hole at the four, though, and it'd open a hole for Mario, like that they'd fill with Mario Hezonja most likely.
But we've talked about the minute, like, because right now it's looking like they'll probably just play Melo, Collins, Nurk, and Whiteside all 24 minutes each, or how much ever. I don't know about the injuries, how much if Collins and Nurk can play 24 minutes, but in like a perfect world, it would probably break down that way. And then some games, players get more minutes, but I'm fine with just going to basically having Swanigan play a couple spot minutes, but then mostly just having Collins, Melo, and whichever one is healthy between Nurkic and Whiteside play the game.
Yeah.
But
you understand my point though about how pretty much anybody that gets if one position gets hurt, you're probably gonna have to play Mario. Like, if we're trying to
pretty much screwed, I think. If someone gets hurt
it's just like if we're trying to avoid playing Mario, we don't necessarily have to get a backup small forward. Now, obviously, if one of our small forwards gets hurt, then Mario's pretty much the only guy we can slot in at small forward. But it's just like there's other positions. There's 4 other positions on the roster, right? It's more likely that a point guard, a shooting guard, a power forward, or a center gets hurt, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I understand, like, you want insurance at the small forward so you don't have to play Mario, but it's just like, okay, you might be able to get that insurance, but then if one of our bigs gets hurt, you probably have to play Mario because he's, Gerald Green ain't playing the 4, Iman Shumpert isn't playing the 4, Gary Trent Jr. isn't sliding up to the 4. Like, I don't know. I just don't understand why people think we need a small forward specifically. I do think it would be best for us if we're going to go out and sign a vet for insurance reasons. I do think it would be best for us to get a small forward, but I don't think it's like, oh, we got to go get a small forward, because right now we got Little, we got Trent there, we got Mario. I don't know. It's just like, it's not like we only have one small forward on the roster. Right now we have 3. So I don't get it.
Trevin mentioned Jaylen Horde. I'd be fine him playing some spot minutes too.
Oh, for sure. Especially
I'd almost rather him play than Hazonia, but I know that won't happen.
Horde is a good cutter. Okay, I think if you gave Horde spot minutes with Nurkic on the floor, I think Horde is somebody that could that Nurkic could help out get easy buckets, because Horde, that's probably his best NBA skill right now, is moving off the ball. Shout out Andrew, my guy Andrew Perez, for the $2 dono. It's kind of weird to get donations in the chat again, because my live streaming channel is not monetized.
People are mentioning someone we forgot to as Wenyan.
Yeah, but I like Wenyan, but are we sure he's gonna have a better impact than Mario? You know what I mean? Like, the goal is to avoid playing guys like that. Like,
see, I kind of put him in the little category where it's kind of fun just to see what he has versus someone where isn't going to be great.
True.
So just that kind of wild card makes it more intriguing, I guess. But yeah,
Andrew Perez with another two key donation. But I don't know, man. It's just like, why are people getting so upset about not getting an Iman Shumpert? You know what I mean? Like, not getting all the small forward options out there are not good enough for me to but I don't know. Some people that I don't expect to get upset because we don't get a big name player getting upset because we don't get a big name player. I understand fans like having names they recognize, so they like Iman Shumpert. They like the idea of J.R. Smith and Jamal Crawford, even though none of those guys are good at all. Yeah. I don't think any of those guys are. J.R. Smith and Jamal Crawford, I don't think are better than Mario Hezonja. They're more flashy. They're bigger name players, but they're both guys that don't defend at all and are super, super inefficient. And that's the only thing they did in their prime was score, and now they're just super inefficient. So they're missing most of the shots they're taking, but they're still going to jack them up. So I don't like players like that. I don't think that would be a better option than Mario Hezonja. Maybe Iman Shumpert could be, but you're talking about Iman Shumpert, the guy who shot 35% from the field and 27% from the three-point line the last time he played. You know what I mean? We really need that? I don't want Melo at the 3, but if we're going to scrape the bottom of the barrel, you might as well say screw it and see what happens. You know what I mean? I don't understand. I understand maybe wanting a guy like that for depth. I just don't understand caring enough about getting an Iman Shumpert to be upset about it.
Yeah, I've seen so many people before this signing just saying they better sign Shumpert, they better get Shump. But like I said, it's just name recognition. It's dumb because I think Jaylen Adams could possibly be better even in this little bubble than any of those guys. I just thought it was surprising that they got a point guard, a small point guard at that, versus getting another wing after. But like I said, if they are going to play Trent at the 3, they have no depth at point guard, and Simons hasn't shown necessarily that he can handle the point guard load against teams that pressure him. So they might just be covering their bases here. Worst case scenario, they know something we don't know about someone opting out, and that would be really bad because we'd be screwed then. So I hope that wasn't the reason.
I don't see Dame or CJ opting out. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't need to see.
Maybe like Anthony or something, but still, like, why would Anthony? He's young. He's 20. He doesn't have kids or anything. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it would definitely be a moot point if Dame or CJ was opting out. Like, there's no point in even getting upset because it's like, oh, we're screwed at that point.
I think Dame already said that he understands the risk and will do it anyway.
Yeah,
he'll go for sure.
And I think
but yeah,
CJ's the same.
Yeah.
Kyle Wilson, $2 donut says Blazers. What is defense? Hopefully getting better with Nurkic and Collins back. I've read that Adams defended really well in the G League last year. I saw you say, Eric, that you've seen that Adams is a bad defender, but you haven't watched him, so that's just based off what you've read. So that's conflicting reports about his defense.
Yeah, I just saw a bunch of people saying, like, oh, another guard who can't defend, like that, those kind of comments. So I was just saying that I didn't know for sure. I was just seeing a lot of those comments
from
that
Blazer fans.
It was like all like national stuff, but yeah.
See, I saw a lot of national writers saying, "Oh, this is a great pickup. This was like the best G League player. Like he's an NBA point guard." You know,
he was the runner-up for MVP in the G League this year. I think.
So I mean, like, I haven't seen him play. I think I watched him a little bit in college, but like, it was St. Bonaventure, you know what I mean? I was probably watching March Madness or something, so he didn't really I didn't really notice him, you know. He didn't even end up getting drafted. But I mean, if you got to be at least somewhat talented to finish second in MVP voting for the G League. I know it's the G League, but it's still like really good quality players. So if you're getting 21, 6 and 6 or whatever he was getting and playing decent defense, which is what I read, like, I mean, that's
plus 40% from 3 too.
Yeah, I mean, that's not bad. And if you're looking at this, like, there's been a number of guys that have been G League players that have broken out in the past couple of years. I mean, you just look at the Miami Heat. They have 2 of them that are now like basically like starting caliber players. You got Kendrick Nunn, you have Duncan Robinson. My biggest complaint of Olshey for the while is he doesn't work well around the fringes of the roster. It's been one of my biggest complaints. The biggest complaint is that he's not. I want to move for a big name star, but one of my other complaints is that he doesn't work well around the fringes of the roster. He doesn't identify G League level players that could break out and become legitimate NBA players. So it's like when he signs a guy that I can see like, okay, maybe this guy has a chance to become a good like third guard in the NBA, you know, if everything breaks right for him. Like, I can't complain, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, get him in practice, see what he has. If he sucks, you just cut bait at the end of the year, and you don't really lose anything. You don't have to play him unless it's an emergency situation. And if he's good, you look at possibly signing him to an actual contract next year, maybe even a 2-way. But yeah,
are we sure he's not better than Simons?
I don't know. Like, even if he was, I just don't see him getting an opportunity like this short of notice.
Oh, 100%. Especially since he's a point guard who'd have to like run the team.
Right. But I can definitely see him possibly next year.
Yeah. And whoever they sign at small forward wouldn't be like a next year type of guy, I don't think, because next year you should have Ariza back, assuming we don't trade him. Should have Rodney Hood back. Should have Gary Trent Jr. off the bench. Nasir Little, who's like a combo forward. Like, you have that small forward position covered. You don't need to add like a Gerald Green into like what we'll have next year. You know, it's kind of pointless. Gerald Green probably wouldn't even play. So it's like, in terms of signing, this signing like seemed like it was like more of a long-term thing, you know, like what we did with Wade Baldwin. He was a 2-way player, then we brought him back on the main contract. Obviously Jaylen Adams is on a main contract right now, but I do expect him to, obviously there's not going to be summer league this year. I don't think they'll end up doing anything like that.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks. I was just thinking like, oh, he'll play summer league. No, it's literally almost July and we're talking about the resumption of a season. a month from now. God, it's crazy. But I don't know. I'm hoping he's a long-term project, and maybe Olshey has found a guy that he likes and could maybe, I don't know, like if he can defend, I'm fine with having a 6'2" guard off the bench who can defend. He's strong, right? Like he's been listed at 225 pounds, so if he can like guard some shooting guards and be a good defender and be a decent shooter and decent playmaker off the bench, I'm down with that.
I just want to get to some things from chat. So Manuel said, even though we lost Ariza, we got Hood back. Hood is not cleared to play, nor will he be cleared to play, so he is out for this restart. They're thinking he might be back by the beginning of next season, but that's still to be determined. But no, he will not play in this thing. And then Zacho says that, and Dionysus both talked about his ball control and his turnovers per game being high. And the thing is, we only have 8 games, and then it's playoffs basically, or play-in or whatever. Those are all going to be important games. So I don't expect, unless it's a blowout, to have any times where Dame or CJ is not on the floor. So he's never going to be like the primary ball handler unless it's an emergency situation. So like we don't really have to worry about him. And if he's a good enough shooter to play off the ball, then we don't have to worry about his ball control, and he does other stuff like rebound to help the team as well. So yeah, I don't think it'll be bad.
Yeah, and let me clear up maybe a misconception that MacMall has. When Woj tweets out they're signing Jaylen Adams to replace Ariza, that doesn't mean like replace Ariza at small forward. That means like since Ariza opted out, the Blazers have an extra spot on the roster that they can sign a guy and designate him as like their replacement for Ariza. That doesn't mean replace Ariza in the rotation or at small forward. It just means like in terms of the roster spot itself, they're using basically an extra roster spot they got from Ariza to sign Jaylen Adams. Shout out to Kyle Wilson for the $5 donation. He said, thoughts, if we want to avoid players getting COVID, why not have them play in Wyoming and pave some courts? You can't get more isolated than Wyoming. You talking about them playing outside? That would be interesting. Never see that before, just at like a park, but that would be dangerous, I feel like, if you're playing on pavement or something. The players would not be down for that. Either way, the bubble's going to have to be like seal
they could
proof
play
somehow.
at a gym,
Yeah.
But like this part of Disney World hasn't been used since the shutdown, so like it's pretty isolated. So the only problem is like someone picking it up or going there with it that didn't know they had it, and then possibly contaminating everyone there. But I think if they get to there safely and are good about not having people sneak away or sneaking people in and out, I don't think it matters where it is as long as they keep them isolated once they get there.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter. Like if you have a foolproof bubble, which the major concern is that they don't. Right. But if they have a foolproof bubble, then it doesn't matter how much COVID you got outside that bubble. You know what I mean? Because you're inside the bubble. It doesn't matter if that bubble is in Florida, in California, in Maine, in Wyoming, on the moon. Like, it's obviously can't play on the moon. That would be kind of dope though. With the 1/6 of the gravity.
Hey, I
imagine Zion that. Yeah, for real, man. That'd be fun, because you'd float. You could do like insane dunks, man. Next time they go to the moon, they got to bring like a basketball hoop or something. But it doesn't really matter as long as the bubble itself is pretty much foolproof. So I think that's really what they're concerned about. I think that's why they're not like worried about COVID breakout in Florida, because it's bad there right now. But as long as you don't have holes in that bubble, it shouldn't matter.
Trevin says, wouldn't the ball float away? Come on, man. Don't ruin our dreams.
Nah, you shoot with the strength of like a normal 3 from about 100 feet, 120 feet, multiply it by 6. Yeah, that'd be dope.
It wouldn't like arc down though. It would just like keep going.
But it very slowly. So you could like shoot it from 100 feet pretty much effortlessly. Like the thing is, if you miss, it's just going to like go like for miles. So that'd just be cool to see though. Dame literally from 30 miles away. Bang. Yeah, there'd be a whole new definition to Dame range, man. I wonder, like, would you jump and then at the top of your like 20-foot jump, would you shoot then? Or
Like shoot down, yeah.
yeah. Oh man.
It'd be like Shaq shooting free throws.
For real. You could like dunk from the free throw line on a free throw, so which like technically you should be allowed to do because you don't step in front of the free throw line, you know. Anyway, yeah. So I don't know. If I had to summarize this signing, like, so what? You know what I mean? Like, okay, we signed Jaylen Adams. You know what I mean? Like, even if we didn't have another roster spot, it's like, okay, we're gonna roll with Gary Trent Jr. and Nasir Little. I'm cool with that. Get those guys some minutes. They're probably our best options because they know the system, and there's not many talented guys out there on the free agent market, and the playing time will help them develop. You know, so like even if we didn't have an extra roster spot, like okay, cool, like I'm down with this. Thing is, we still do have an extra roster spot that could still very well get used on a Gerald Green or somebody like that. So all the fans that are sitting there like freaking out, like screw Olshey, he doesn't know what he's doing. Like just chill out, man. I get a little tired of seeing. Like, and I'm not calling out anybody anybody specifically, okay? I'm not calling out anybody specifically because I know there might be a couple people watching this that think I'm calling them out specifically. But there is a lot of people out there, like on Twitter and stuff, that I don't know who they are, but like just listening to them talk about Olshey, I can tell they have a very rudimentary understanding of the CBA. They barely understand the CBA, yet they act like Olshey's a dumbass and they know so much more than Olshey when they don't even know the basics of the CBA. That gets a little frustrating to me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so tired of seeing fans out there criticize Olshey when they have no clue what it's like to be a GM because they don't even understand the CBA.
Well, I saw one person put like, here we are again, Blazers penny pinching. Like, well, the replacement player would have been the same amount, I think, no matter who it was. So, like, it didn't matter who they signed. So just because they didn't sign someone you like, they means they're penny pinching. And when you look at it, they still have, like, despite, yes, they made several moves like the Scal trade, which I'm still mad about, that were penny pinching moves. But at the end of the day, they still have the highest salary in the league. It's not like they're like are the Florida Marlins and they just freaking cut their whole team and they're like have the worst salary in the league and are below the salary cap or anything like that. They are way over the salary cap and they're the furthest over. They're the highest luxury paying team this year. So that's not penny pinching in my mind.
Kyle said, but you don't understand, Tori. I play NBA 2K. That's like the exact same as real life. Yeah, too many people out there using the trade finder on my league in 2K and thinking that's what GMs actually have as their disposal in the way of moves. It gets a bit frustrating. Didn't know Live was back. I don't know what you mean by that. RIP.
He obviously someone who hasn't known about the other channel.
RIP was on the other channel last stream though. That's why I'm confused.
RIP, yeah. So Dionysus asked a good question. Do you think Ariza opting out will change Ariza's or Olshey's plans for him? I personally don't, unless like we were at a championship and it was obvious that Little and Trent were the future and we didn't need Ariza. But I guess if we do sign someone like a Gerald Green to a 2-year contract, it could make saving that money a little easier. But like we talked about, it doesn't really give us any additional cap space. It just saves money off how deep we go into the luxury tax. But if the salary cap is drastically reduced next summer, then that could factor into how far over the cap we are. But I don't think they're going to hold it against him.
Yeah, if the cap is drastically reduced, that probably means you can get Whiteside for cheaper. That'll mean the mid-level exception is less. Like I don't know. We're going to be in a better spot next year since we're not going to be paying like Deshaun Whiteside $27 million. You know, hopefully it's something like 9 or 10. You know, so that saves a lot of money. Like we shouldn't be in the tax next year even if we keep Ariza. Like I don't think anything that's happened would lead me to believe that Ariza is going to have next year declined. I do expect Ariza to either end up getting traded this offseason or for him to come back in a Blazer uniform. It just doesn't make enough sense to cut him when you can't use that money for anything, and we shouldn't be in the luxury tax next year.
Yeah, you bring up a good point about the trading him, because that would be like our only mid-sized tradable contract other than Nurk, and we don't want to trade Nurk. So like, if we want to make a trade this summer, we almost have to keep him just to have that trade piece to match contracts versus because we literally don't have anything other than like Dame, CJ, Nurk, and then a bunch of like rookie scale contracts. Or like Hood that makes like $6 million, but none of them would add up to like an Oubre or anyone in that price range. It would be really hard to get to that salary range if we don't keep Ariza. So we might just keep him just so we have a contract to trade too.
Yeah. Dionysus says, Tori, I'm so happy you reformatted the screen display. Yeah, there's too much going on with the last one. I will still probably change this one up. This one was kind of just thrown together. But I do definitely like how it just looks cleaner. It's definitely better than what it used to be.
Anime Jake asked if we answered this last stream too, but does Ariza get a ring if we win a championship? It's usually up to the team. I'm assuming they would give him one since he was part of the team and just had to opt out of this little part. But yeah, I think it's up to the team to decide whether or not they want to give it to him or not.
Jason Joseph says, if I see us running a zone again, especially off an inbound in any bubble game, I'm going to lose it. Oh, my goodness, man. Yeah. I mean, like, the first inbound, that's fine. You know, the team doesn't expect that. But if it's like how it was this year, the team we're playing against after we do it 3 times is going to figure out, oh, they're running a zone every inbounds, and they're going to start exploiting it, and we're going to still run a zone on each inbounds, even though the other team starts exploiting it. That drove me crazy this past season, man. I'm ready to start talking about schemes or the lack thereof.
Yeah, the league won't let the Blazers move. But you can forget that.
Yeah.
And Kyle, that trade wouldn't work out. So
yeah, Whiteside's a free agent, so we can't trade a free agent. Yeah.
You can say hi real quick. No.
Also, by the way, if you guys want custom emojis and some custom perks and your name to be green in the live stream chat, like Brian Scalabrini's, you can become a channel member. I opened up channel memberships. I still need to drop a video on it. But I opened up channel memberships. Below this screen, there should be a join button, and you can get custom emojis. The more people we get, the more emojis we can add. I didn't realize it made Brian Scalabrini's name green. I wish I could change it to red. Maybe I can, because that would make more sense to have it red. But either way.
Westbrook isn't in here. He could have used his thing.
Oh, I know. So that's in case anybody was wondering why Brian Scalabrini's name is green. Just looking through chat here for anything I might have missed.
Zacho says Ariza made the correct decision by sitting out.
Yeah,
I just mean choosing his family over this is the correct decision, or are you saying because of the whole virus situation?
Yeah. As far as his family, like, whatever decision he makes is going to be the best decision for himself. Like, if he wants to play, he's going to play. If he doesn't want to play because of his family, he's not going to play. Like, either way, it's the right decision for him, so it's the right decision.
I feel bad for anyone who's I forgot who it was, but someone was like someone on the Blazers like media. Is it? I forgot who it was, but someone. It's Travis Demers just had a baby, and they planned it so it would be like right after the season got over, and now if he has to go do games and stuff, he has to leave his little newborn at home and stuff. But like that's got to be hard to like do everything right and plan it out to like, okay, this summer I'm gonna get rights to having custody of my kid or whatever, and then all of a sudden, nope, you're going to play this summer. You have to choose whether you want to spend time with your kid or sit out.
Yeah. You're gonna go crazy from spending time with your kid.
Yeah.
Dionysus says, Tori, where's my sweater? The print provider that I had for the sweater wasn't operating for a while, so yours is currently in production because I started operating again. It was this whole thing. I can send you proof if you want it over email, but it is in production. With the virus, it shut down some businesses. Oh my goodness.
I'm going to mute myself for a sec. I'll be right back.
I lost this my train of thought. Appreciate it. Yeah, I got you. Just the whole pandemic just threw the merch for a loop for a bit, but things are better now. So I'm looking at next merch line. I'm looking at maybe lanyards and some hats. I want to get some hats out. I want to be able to rock a Blazers Uprise hat. I just have to do it through like a different platform, so I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that. Shout out to Kyle Wilson for the $5 dono. He said, if you had to relocate a team to Seattle, who would it be? I'd personally relocate either the Clippers, the Suns, or the Thunder. I don't really want to relocate any teams to Seattle. I want the NBA to expand to 32 teams. I think it just makes sense. Pretty much every other league is looking at doing it. I think baseball will do it in the next 10 years. Maybe a little bit sooner. Hopefully they expand to Portland. You have the NHL, which recently just expanded from 30 to 32. So I just want them to expand. If the Clippers were going to move anywhere, I think they should stay in Southern Cal. They should just go to San Diego, man. Put the Clippers back in San Diego. I don't know how long ago they were there, but they're just, I don't know. It's kind of weird having two teams share a city. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of got the Knicks in Brooklyn, but Brooklyn is like I don't know. It's different. It's different than the Clippers and the Lakers sharing the same stadium. So if I could relocate the Clippers, it'd be to San Diego. I just prefer expansion, though. It'd be cool to have Seattle and Vancouver, BC as like the two expansion cities. That'd be dope.
It would. I doubt they would do that, though.
No, they wouldn't. They put one in Seattle. They probably put one in Vegas. Maybe Kansas City, because Kansas City has a stadium that's ready, I think. Other than that, I don't really know any other destinations. Hopefully not in Mexico City. I think that'd be a disaster. Add a team in Vancouver and Seattle. We're talking about Vancouver, Washington, right?
No. So Westbrook just messaged me on Discord saying, why do you guys stream so late now? How much longer will you guys be streaming? God. Out of the loop, man.
Isn't Westbrook normally up at this time of night playing Call of Duty with you?
Yeah, usually.
So what's the issue with that?
I don't know.
His taken out of his Call of Duty time?
I don't know.
The Chads would be a great NBA team name, with Chad Doing as the mascot. Yeah. So
I don't know if you got to this comment, but RIP Blazers, man. He said, let Whiteside walk. Don't trust him on the bench role. Rather have Baines. He would take less money and be a better fit. So the problem is, if you do that, you have to use the MLE to get Baines, where you don't have to do that with Whiteside. So you could keep Whiteside and get another player just as good as Baines with the MLE at a different position, or you just get Baines and you basically can only have minimum contracts to fill out the rest of your roster.
Yep.
So I would rather have Whiteside and another good player, even if that's like a DJ Augustine or like a Marvin Williams or someone like that, versus just having Baines.
Whiteside and $10 million in free agent money, or use that $10 million on Baines. I'd rather have Whiteside and $10 million to spend than just Baines. You know, it makes no sense to do that. If you watched Eric's video, you might understand that. Which your video hit 1,100 views the other day, so that's dope.
He doesn't pay attention to anything we say. He'll say that same comment like an hour from now.
Yeah,
just by it.
Kind of. Look, see, now he's talking about like Kansas City while we're talking to him. Anyway, I don't know. Is there any like part of the Jaylen Adams thing that we didn't touch on? I told 503 for the fans to get in here because we were in a Twitter group chat discussing it, arguing about it like constantly while I was driving too, while I was working. So I told him just get in the chat, but he never, like, I don't know if he's ever, like, I feel like will never open up a stream of ours.
He's like opposed to doing it.
Yeah, like he's opposed to like having
like somehow that means we're
I don't understand it, man. Maybe it's because we actually know what we're talking about, and we, I don't know, disagree with some of the things he says. I don't know. I don't know, but what I do know is it's almost impossible to out-argue me and Eric. That's what I know. So maybe that's why he's not going to jump in here. Like, literally, like...
I think a little bit is, how, like, he tried to start his own YouTube thing like this.
I offered him help. I said, I'll help you, man, if you want it. Reaching out, and then nothing. He didn't even reply. So
I think when people have, like, so many Twitter followers, they think they're, like, better than someone who only has like a few Twitter followers, even though I don't
think that's the case with him. That is definitely the case with a lot of people, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't really translate. Doing YouTube is doing YouTube's a lot harder because you got to put like thought and effort and creativity into what you make. Whereas on Twitter, you can tweet out a tweet in 15 seconds and it can get, if you have his following, it can get 1,000 likes. Nurkic might see it and respond to it, It's completely different. Tori and Eric, remember the fantasy basketball on ESPN? Yeah, that is completely defunct now.
Yeah, they closed all the fantasy things down. They said it was unfair that, some of the players weren't playing and some were, so they just decided to scrap it. Yeah.
So, no fantasy basketball. Hopefully we get fantasy football. I'm looking forward to that if we can actually have some NFL this year, man.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that because our fantasy football league's always popping off. Is there anything we didn't touch on as far as Jaylen Adams?
No, I just think it was just a depth signing. I don't think it's anything.
I wanted those people from that group chat in here to argue with me, to spice it up, and we could like, I don't know, because there was like points that I made in that argument that were like, I don't know, we got so deep into the argument, like, I don't know, it would have been cool to like have that on stream instead of in a group chat, but they ain't in here.
No one signed Jamal Crawford because he's 40 years old and was completely inefficient last year.
Bro, he was.
Everyone says like, oh, but he scored 50 points in his last game.
Yeah, one game for the season. He shot under 40% from the field and about 33% from three. And for a guy who's horrible defensively, doesn't really create for others, is getting even worse. Is probably worse than the guy he showed last year because he's 30, 39 or 40 now. He's aging. He's not. There's a reason he's not signed. I think, like, I don't know if Trevin's joking or not, but I question when NBA fans are just like, why isn't big name washed up player signed yet? It's like you're wondering why he's not signed because of his name, but it's like there's a reason he's not signed at the same time. There's a reason all 30 GMs have decided not to have that guy on their team. Like, but why isn't he on a team? I mean, he's Jamal Crawford. It's like guys get washed. Guys, just because they were good once doesn't mean they're still good. And I feel like a lot of people don't really like keep up to date with a lot of these big names and how they've declined and how they're not the same player they used to be. So you have a lot of guys that are just like, oh, Jamal Crawford would be awesome. Shumpert would be awesome. J.R. Smith would be awesome. But it's just like they're nowhere near what they used to be at all. Mm-hmm. And a lot of fans don't keep up with that.
Yeah. And Crawford wasn't good the year he played for us anyway. I know that wasn't necessarily his fault, but...
Tori, I had some Buffalo Wild Wings and ordered from DoorDash. I was like, this is Tori order? You mean like my Buffalo order? My 20 honey barbecue? That's my go-to on Thursdays. That's why the stream's always going late on Thursdays. Today the stream just went late because I was working, and then I also, had to eat after work, and I was working a little late. Tori, who do you think will start in Orlando? Hopefully Trent and Collins at the forwards with Nurkic and Dame and CJ. Hopefully.
Well, actually, I wouldn't mind them starting Little and having Trent focus more on the second unit.
I'd be cool with that. I'd just rather have Trent just for the spacing.
Yeah.
Because like Collins isn't like he's a okay shooter, but he's not like a proven high volume, efficient 3-point shooter. So I wouldn't want to have two questionable. I wouldn't want to have three questionable 3-point shooters in the lineup, which that's what you'd have if you had like Little and Collins and Nurkic. So I'd start Trent for that reason, just because he's a guy you can rely on to space the court, and then you just hope that Collins can provide some help too, instead of relying on Collins or Little, because you'd have to rely on one of those guys to like knock down threes consistently, which I'm kind of about.
See, I'm more just like start Little, even if it's more like a Vonleh type situation, and then you give the majority of the minutes to Trent. Just I think Little is less out of place with the starters than he would be as like kind of a focal point off the bench, depending on who starts.
I think,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think Little is a better fit at the forward next to Melo than Trent is, because Little can, like, if you have a bad small forward and a good power forward, you could maybe slide Little up to guard that power forward and hide Melo on the bad small forward. The thing is, even bad small forwards might still be able to expose how slow Melo is, but still, I like the Trent Collins pairing, because Trent is a little undersized for a small forward, but then Collins is oversized for a power forward, so maybe that kind of offsets in a way. And then I like Little with Melo.
Yeah, I could see that.
So I don't know. The thing is, I don't want Melo starting at all. I don't want Melo on the court when both Dame and CJ are on the court. It just doesn't make sense. Like, you don't need that extra scorer who sucks defensively out there on the court next to Dame and CJ. Like, literally, the only thing Melo did decently this past year was shoot threes. You know, so like I understand in the floor space, but like he's still a bit of a ball stopper. He's a bad defender. You don't want that next to Dame and CJ. So it's like, okay, if you don't have Melo starting, then you have to start Collins. And for me, it's like I'd rather have Trent out there. So that's the basis behind my thought process.
I'm so worried right now that GJ DeWald is going to be right. He said Melo's going to start and play most of his minutes at small forward. I just have a feeling that's gonna. They're at least gonna try it. Yeah,
bro. Like that's how they want to start Collins, but they don't want to make Melo mad by not starting him. So like their way around that is to start both Melo and Collins at the forward spots. That would be disgusting, man. To anybody, Jimmy Sanchez is trash in the chat. Jimmy Sanchez is trash. Right. I'm not even gonna ban him. Brian Scalabrine said that, and I didn't even see it because I have to show Jimmy Sanchez, you're trash. Last time Blazers won a title. What about the last time you talked to a girl, Jimmy? Bro, I've missed having haters in chat. I'm gonna be rusty trolling haters because like mid-season I was at the peak of my game for trolling haters like Jimmy that come in chat. Now I'm a little bit rusty, but I'm ready like for basketball to start back up again, so we can get some trolls in the chat, so I can just troll them and just make them pay.
So he's JG DeWald's followed that up by saying Melo will start because he is the best small forward we have, and that's absolutely not true. Trent and Little are better options at small forward. Mm-hmm. Let me just say this: Melo cannot play any position other than power forward. He can play any position, but he can't, if that makes sense. So, like, he's not a point guard, he's not a shooting guard, he's not a small forward, he's not big enough to play center. He can only play power forward. If you play him at any other position, it's like the worst possible thing we can do, especially with our backcourt situation. They're not the greatest defenders. So you put Melo at the 3 in our most important spot to have defense at instead of Trent or Little, and our whole team suffers because of it.
Yeah.
So if he starts at the small forward, it's purely because of politics and because of who Melo is, not because he's the best small forward option.
It makes sense he says it makes sense to have a top tier defender. We don't have that. Yeah, well, it makes sense to have at least a capable defender, and we do have that at small forward. Gary Trent Jr. is a good defender. Nasir Little is about average. He's capable. Carmelo Anthony is a historically bad defender at small forward at this point in his career. Like, he would be historically bad. He can't even keep up with average power forwards. Like, shoot, I remember this season, like, Nicolo Melli was too quick for him. Like, Carmelo can't even close out on the 3-point line. Like, I don't even know how to explain this. Like, I feel like some people have forgotten just how slow Melo was defensively at the end of this season before it got canceled. Now, part of that is maybe he was a little bit tired, but the dude is so slow. And you want him out there chasing around small forwards when he can't even keep up with power forwards? Like, he has the foot speed of like a average NBA center, I feel like. Would you agree with that, Eric?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
He has the foot speed of an average NBA center. You're not going to have Whiteside play small forward and then try and go chase LeBron James or Kawhi Leonard. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever to have Melo play that position in the starting lineup, especially because, like, you already got Dame and CJ, who aren't great defenders, in the backcourt. You don't want to make that 10 times worse by also having Melo playing small forward. Like, Nurkic would get in foul trouble within like 2 minutes because not only do you have Dame and CJ out there who are questionable, then you'd have Carmelo Anthony who would literally get blown by every single time. Like, every single time. He can't move his feet. Like, I don't understand why people think that Carmelo Anthony is a viable option at small forward. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's just wrong. That's just wrong. No. He can't stay in front of small forwards. He can't. I mean, he could like 5 years ago, but he cannot anymore.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, maybe
every single metric proves that he is one of the worst players in the league at small forward since his last year in New York, and he's actually somewhat average at power forward. But his defense is literally, you can't be any worse than him at defense when he plays the small forward. So like, you saying that isn't going to change like facts.
I mean, I don't know. Why do you think he can stay in front of small forwards? I'm curious. I'm curious by that comment because I don't know. Maybe people didn't focus on him enough defensively last year. Like,
you just said you were wrong.
Do you think he's quick enough to stay in front of LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George? You think Carmelo Anthony is like quick enough laterally to be able to guard small forwards? I don't know. Like, I focused heavily on Carmelo at the end of this season. Dude's just so slow that he doesn't have the foot speed to stay in front of small forwards. Like, I don't even know how that's argued. Like, I mean, it's like that. You might as well say, I don't know. I mean, you're going to think what you're going to think. It's just like, just from focusing on Melo defensively, like, it is a fact that he is very slow and can't keep up with small forwards because he couldn't even keep up with power forwards. Like, just like, I don't know. It was as obvious as, like, Terry Stotts wears a suit when he coaches games. It was as obvious as, oh, the name says Blazers across the jersey. Like, it was just so, like, obvious that he was too slow to even guard power forwards. So he just can't keep up at that position. And the stats prove it too. It's not just the eye test. The stats prove it. As Eric was saying, you might as well say Dame can't hit a three to save his life if you're going to say Melo has the foot speed to stay in front of small forwards, because that's just ignoring what's in front of you, man. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but he just can't do it. It's just not, like, it's a fact. Like, I don't even know what else to say. I can't believe I'm tempted to just agree with the troll here. But yeah, slower than a bottle of syrup.
I mean, it might be okay offensively for short periods, but yeah, it's like, I mean, Melo, his most effective, he shot the three fairly well, so I'll give him that. So he could probably play a little bit of small forward on offense right now. But if you have like Collins and Nurk or Collins and Whiteside, and Melo wants to post up, that's just going to be a cluster in the paint, and the spacing is going to be all off. It's just horrible. And
he says I wouldn't have Melo guarding the ball. He can defend all those players off the ball, though. Melo's off the ball defense is just as bad. Melo consistently falls asleep off the ball. Like, he can't get through an off ball screen to save his life. Can't get through an on ball screen to save his life. Like, he's not a good defender in any aspect, and even especially off the ball, small forwards are quicker, right? So off the ball, small forwards are going to be able to cut quicker. They're going to be able to move quicker. Carmelo Anthony
get up and down the court quicker.
Yeah, Carmelo Anthony can't keep up with that.
Also, so it keeps on being brought up that he doesn't have to guard the point guard. Well, in lots of situations, that means that Dame or CJ have to guard the point guard then, because who else is going to guard him? You can't have Collins or whoever the power like Nurk or Whiteside guard the point guard. So you're saying that you trust Dame and CJ to guard them over like a Trent or a Little or someone else.
Yeah, if you start Trent at the 3 against, say, the Houston Rockets, right? Which they were starting like Eric Gordon at small forward. Like you wouldn't want Melo on Eric Gordon because Eric Gordon is okay moving off the ball and a good 3-point shooter. So Melo sucks getting out.
Or maybe not this year, but historically.
But like you'd have to guard James Harden with CJ, right? If you start Trent at small forward, you could put Trent on Harden and you could put CJ on Eric Gordon and be fine. Like that's good matchups across the board for the Blazers. If you have Melo in there instead, like you're just completely mismatched. Like you don't have that good perimeter defender to put up against the other team's best opposing offensive player. The thing is, we're not going to play the Warriors, but say you went up against this Warriors team, you could put Trent on like a Steph Curry because Trent has the energy to keep up with Steph Curry when Steph Curry's moving off the ball. And Andrew Wiggins is a big small forward, but he does not take advantage of his size advantage. He doesn't take advantage of it. You could live with CJ on and Andrew Wiggins. I don't know what other, like, I'm just trying to think of teams where it would be very helpful to have Trent start at small forward or a Little. Like, even Memphis. Who's Memphis' starting 3? Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks, what, 6'5", 6'6"?
I don't know if they're gonna,
I forget their line. It's hard to remember.
I wonder if Winslow's going to play. They should have Winslow back now.
I mean, it's a very good thing to have that small forward that can slide over and guard the point guard and the shooting guard if necessary, because there are some teams where it's like, okay, that's the best mismatch to have a good defending small forward that can, guard a Jamal Murray. We saw that in the playoffs last year against Denver. You had Harkless who could slide over and guard Jamal Murray, and you put CJ on Torrey Craig, who was their starting small forward and wasn't really an offensive factor. So you can hide guys. If you have a good perimeter defender out there, you can manipulate the mismatches in your favor. If you have Melo out there with CJ and with Dame, you're just screwed regardless because all 3 of those guys are not going to be good defensively on the perimeter. I'll be pissed if that happens. I'll be pissed if Melo starts at the 3. I will come on here in the very first, like, if we win, maybe I won't rant, but if Carmelo starts at the small forward and we lose, which would probably happen because Melo would be such a bad small forward, I will just flip this desk, which weighs like 250, 300 pounds. Okay, I won't flip it. I will freak out, though. I will be pissed. I will rant. You guys will have another epic rant. I know you guys haven't had an epic rant since the trade deadline. I know you guys are probably missing out on that. You're been sober too long. You need me to.
And now people are going to want Melo to start at the 3 just to see that.
Yeah, that's true. That's their silver lining. If we're so silly that we start Melo at the 3, you guys will get an epic rant. So that'll mitigate the anger for you guys, knowing that I'll just get angry for you.
So he says, sure, it's good to have a small forward that can guard the ball. We don't have that, so get over it. Do you want to respond to that? I don't want to be mean.
He's the one being in here being rude, saying get over it. Which I don't understand why that's a weird thing to say, get over it. I literally just explained how Gary Trent Jr. can guard the ball and can be our small forward. Nasir Little can guard point guards. I think Nasir Little is quick laterally and he has a long wingspan, so he can leave a little bit of space and still contest shots and give himself enough space to be able to stay in front. Like, we have small forwards that can guard point guards, can guard shooting guards decently. Gary Trent Jr. can guard those positions well, and Gary Trent Jr. I think is just big enough to be able to play small forward. So I don't know what you're talking about, but Gary Trent Jr. can guard 3 positions. He can play small forward. Like,
We've addressed every one of your comments. We've broken down why he can't play small forward, and you just kept saying, but he's a small forward. He can play small forward. He's a small forward. He's a small forward. You haven't said one basketball reason why he can play small forward.
He did say, I did ask him if he thought Melo was quick enough laterally to play small forward, and he said yes. I don't know if he's a Melo fan or something. I don't know, but it's just like, that's just not.
So he hasn't watched him play then since like 10 years ago.
Basically, man. But yeah, don't tell me to get over it. That just makes me want to troll you a little bit. And I don't know you well enough to know if I can troll you without you getting a little upset. So that leaves us in a weird situation, you know?
He says Lillard's a better defender than Trent.
Okay, yeah, you're just capping, man.
Yeah.
I never use that word seriously, but that is the definition. I'll tip my hat to you because you are you're definitely, as the kids would say, capping. My goodness. I'm sure Hassan Whiteside is a better 3-point shooter than CJ McCollum as well. Anyway.
If you ignore the past few years where he has gotten absolutely killed anytime he has stepped foot on the court as a small forward, then yes, he played small forward prior to the last 3 years.
Yeah.
But the last 3 years, he cannot keep up at small forward. He gets abused. He is one of the worst players in the NBA at small forward, period. The stats all back that up. The eye test backs it up. Every single fact backs that up. He cannot play small forward. Yeah. If you say he can, you do not have any basis for that other than he played small forward when he was coming up on the Nuggets and early days in the Knicks. So other than that, you have no reason.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name a game he got abused on defense. It's every freaking game he played small forward the last 3 years. It's just a fact. Like, go look at the numbers, him playing small forward versus power forward. There's a reason why he hasn't played much small forward on any team lately.
Trevin says this late night streams bring him all the trolls. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, we're not going to change his mind. I'm not really. Yeah. It's whatever. Like, yeah, you could say this. The earth is round, you know, and you're not going to convince a flat earther, and there's really nothing more you can do other than say, well, the earth is round, duh. Like, and that's basically what this is. But my one question for him is, when you get into your mid-30s as a basketball player, do you become faster or slower? That's my question for him. When you become Melo's age, when you're getting up there in age, when you're 36, 37, whatever, do you get slower or do you get faster? You get slower, right? So when you get slower, you're probably going to struggle more to guard quicker positions, which small forward is a quicker position than a power forward. So just because he was quick enough to defend small forwards when he was 28 doesn't mean he's quick enough to guard small forwards when he's 36, because he's gotten a lot slower than he already was. So that's why the whole argument, like, oh, he played small forward for most of his career. Yeah, well, he was quicker most of his career. Now he's not. So anyway. Chat, you guys can ask us questions if you want. I don't know. We're just kind of in the chill part of the stream. I might not switch over to Blazers Uprise Live because it's already 11:11. Because what I was planning to do with the stream was just stream for like an hour and then switch over. But switch over to the second channel, which is what we'll do for our post-game shows. We'll have like an hour of just hardcore analysis for an hour, and then like we'll stop the stream on this channel, and then we'll move over to the live stream, the Blazers Uprise Live channel, and that will kind of be like our chill, relaxed, kick back type of segment. Because if you guys have watched enough of our post-game shows, you know there's kind of like two segments to it. It's one where we just break down the game in depth, and then we kind of just like stop talking about the game and start just talking about whatever and having fun. So basically what I want it to be is just the post-game shows that are streamed on this channel. It's just the analysis part of it, and then we'll switch over to the other channel for the laid-back part of it.
Oh, I'll answer this question from Jason Joseph. He's asked it a few times. We have answered it before. He says, ever since you brought up Wenyan at the 3, it's been sounding good to me. You think Stotts is enough of a genius to try that? Broke person's Aminu. I do kind of compare him, both size and game, to Aminu a little bit. His best position is definitely the 4. Unlike Torrey, I think he could play a little bit of 3. I think he's quick enough defensively to do that, unlike Melo. But I would rather see Gabriel at the 3 than Melo if that was our choices.
Yeah. Dionysus says, Tori, is DoorDash worth driving for in the Couve? I need work. It 100% is worth driving in the Couve if you have a decent car. If anybody is interested in driving for DoorDash wherever they're at, hit me up. I can get you a link which will like give you a bonus for your first such and such deliveries, and it'll also give me a bonus if you get your bonus as well. So we both win. So if you're interested in that, hit me up, Dionysus. And look who we have in chat, bro.
Ravioli.
We got Travioli in chat. Let's go, man. I found him on his Call of Duty video, where he was just making you look foolish because Eric's playing Call of Duty now, Travioli, man, and yeah, it's I don't know. He's become a Warzone guy.
I was watching. Do you know the show Holy Moly?
No.
It's like by Steph Curry. It's like a miniature golf like game show type thing. Anyways, my kids like watching it. Mm-hmm. But there was a rapper on there, and he rhymed holy moly with ravioli, and I just started cracking up because
and they're probably looking at you like, why are you laughing at that? Like,
yeah, I just thought it was like the funniest thing because you did that same thing with Travioli.
Oh God, that's what. I don't have the time to do stream highlights, but the stream highlights would be so good. I will pay somebody to put out stream highlight videos. I will like legitimately pay like $15 for a stream highlights video because I don't really got the time. But like, if somebody like wanted to like edit stream highlights, like go through it and edit, like I would pay somebody for that because those videos would be so entertaining and such like a good like nostalgia trip, you know, just because we've had so many good moments on stream. That's one of them. I forgot I did that, and then that became a meme for a bit until Travioli got married and his new wife stole him from us. But now she's now we got him back. That's a dub in the chat right there. He said, how excited are you guys to get Nurkic back? I'm thrilled and can't freaking wait. Yeah, I'm super excited to watch him on the court. I'm super excited. Like, he seems like more spry and like lighter than he's ever been. So I just want to see how that plays out. And then if he can shoot the three, bro, like, I don't know. Like, I still feel like his upside is like a second team all NBA setter. I still feel like his upside is like legitimately getting 20 points per game, 10 rebounds, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists with like good defense. You know what I mean? Like, if he could just shoot threes, which like I'm not expecting him to, but if he could, like, then guys have to get out there. That could open more space for his passing. You know, it wouldn't be like high post passing. He could pass from the 3-point arc because his guy wouldn't just be sagging into the paint. And then I don't know, maybe he could start doing stuff off the dribble because like he's not, for a center, he's not bad with his ball handling. Like, he's not good, but he's not bad. And if guys start running him off the 3-point line, it'd be kind of interesting to see him like blow past guys from there and then like make plays attacking the rim. You know what I mean? I feel like in his prime, if he's able to like stay healthy over the next few years, he might be able to just like become like that type of guy. You know, kind of like you've seen with like a Bam Adebayo a little bit. Maybe not quite to that extent, but like Nurkic does other things better than Adebayo, like most notably low post scoring. So I don't know, man. I'm super excited to watch Nurkic play. He's probably going to be rusty, but I'm still super excited to see like what he becomes in his prime. I really want him to make an all-star team, like more than I want to see CJ make an all-star team, because it'd just be awesome for Nurkic to get to that point. And I think he can.
Agreed.
So
agreed. The only thing I'll say about, I would be way more excited if this was happening when it was planned to happen, versus
we were so
in this
hyped, bro.
bubble without fans, because that would have been like one of the greatest moments, at least regular season, in the last few years for the Blazers. After all the emotions of watching him snap his leg in a game and just in fighting his way back, to get to do that in front of the home crowd would have been sweet. But it will be great to see him back on the floor. Oh. Shout out to, let me get his name right here. Fernando Lauer, don't recognize him, but we don't know basketball, and this is a podcast trollcast. So Thanks for the nice compliment, man. Appreciate it.
Who? What? My stream chat is a little bit up behind, so I don't even see it yet. I need to pull it up on my phone.
He says, this podcast, a troll cast with the emojis. They don't know basketball, LOL.
Man, it ain't even a podcast. It's a live stream.
I'm assuming this guy's a big Melo fan.
Yeah, I don't know. A troll cast.
Well, once again, if he is a Melo fan, you're not bringing any facts to the table other than that he played small forward like 10 years ago. But yeah, okay.
Oh. Oh, I see it now. It was way up there. Fernando. Come on, Fernando. We know everything there ever is to know about
I actually like Melo on a roll off the bench as a scoring option. I know you're not as high on that, but like I'm not criticizing Melo. I'm just saying he can't play small forward. He's fine at the power forward if they want to give him some minutes. I don't want him to start. I want him to come off the bench and be like our go-to scorer in that second unit. I think that would be the perfect role for him at this point in his career. Mm-hmm. And he's had a wonderful career. He's a Hall of Fame player. It's just he's not a small forward anymore. That's all I'm gonna.
Yeah, I think it's funny. I think it's funny how like the fans that overrate players that used to be good and now are like declining. The people that still overrate him, like, oh, well, look at what he did 6 years ago. He's still great or something. You know, the fans that use that logic are always the ones that will be like, you're an idiot for not thinking he's still amazing. Like, you're a casual for thinking that Melo isn't an all-star caliber player type of crap. You know what I mean? Like, that's the stuff I don't understand. It's like, the most casual thing to do is to, like, still think Melo is some amazingly great player. You know what I mean? Like, people that don't really pay attention to basketball, they'll see the name Carmelo Anthony and be like, oh, yeah, he's really good, huh? The people who, like, truly know basketball won't overrate a guy just because of his name. So it's always funny to get fans that say that type of stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
So don't come in here trolling us with that, man. You ain't going to win, and it's not gonna be fun for you, so I just suggest you chill with that. DM me on Twitter or ask me on Discord, one of the two. Said to hit you up to get a referral. Yeah. Because you sent me a message on Twitter because you're new to Twitter. That was like a private message. Just send it in there. I don't know how else to explain it. A bench of Melo, Whiteside, Trent Ariza, and Simon sounds pretty good. Honestly, my Eric isn't as on board with this idea, but my dream for the offseason, Anime Jake, would be to trade our pick for Nemanja Bjelica and a second round pick or two, because Nemanja Bjelica fits into our traded player exception. And then, what was the other part? And then you resign Whiteside, right? So we don't even use our MLE with that. We'd still have our mid-level exception if we wanted, but without using our mid-level exception, you'd have a bench there. Assuming you'd start Ariza and Collins at the 3 and the 4, you'd have a bench of Gary Trent Jr., Rodney Hood, Nemanja Bjelica, and Hassan Whiteside if he got brought back. That would be a really, really good bench. That's not even counting like a possible $9 million we'd have to spend. So, you might not be able to spend it depending on what the salary cap is and what the luxury tax line is, but that would be a really good bench. I expect us to make a move this offseason. It would really only take one move for us to have a really, really good like top 5 NBA bench next year, right? Because would you say that's a top 5 NBA bench, Eric, if you had Trent, Hood? Absolutely. Yeah, and that's only one move. That's not even using a mid-level exception. You know, if you don't trade for Bjelica, maybe you use the mid-level exception on a Bjelica level player or something. I don't know. Like, we should be able to have a top 5 bench next year if this offseason goes well.
Agree.
We're not going that late, Destrom. Why did the Blazers Uprise Twitter get it suspended? I just went there to follow and it says suspended. Yeah, I forgot the password to it. And I got signed out on everything I was signed into it from. The problem is the number to recover the password is my old phone number, which I don't have anymore. So I can't recover the password. So I've been trying to work it out with Twitter so I can get the account back and change the password and all that and change the number on it. But, like, there's no way to get into it right now. And then it was just, like, randomly suspended. I noticed, Eric pointed that out today. So I don't know what I can do with that. I might have to create a new account. I hope not, but I'm trying to sort it out with Twitter, which isn't fun.
Yeah, they're paying. I had to deal with Facebook for like a business-related issue on one of my sites for the business, and there's basically like they have no like customer service to call, nothing. They don't respond to messages or emails, and it's just like basically like too bad.
Yeah, I hate
like,
that.
Okay, thanks.
Like, thanks for using our platform. We won't provide you any customer service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're worth billions.
Yeah, we're too good for you. We're worth too much. Yeah, if you're just make sure you guys follow the subscribe to the live stream channel, because we're still doing 2 live streams a week, Mondays and Thursdays. We're doing them at nights right now. Something we got to figure out. When are we going to stream our, like, I mean, we don't call them podcasts anymore, like, but when are we going to stream that when the season restarts? Because the first 2 Blazer games are midday. And the games start early, so, like, in terms of picks against the spread, like, we couldn't have, like, a 3 p.m. stream and have it be before games, you know? So, like, I'm thinking, like, since a lot of the Blazer games are midday, I'm thinking these streams will stay at night, like 9:30, and we'll do, like, picks against the spread for the following day.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
We can recap, like, the games that were played that day as well. We wouldn't do them on days that the Blazers play, so might, like, move around a bit. So, like, if the Blazers play, like, Tuesday and Thursday, you know, we'd do it, like, Monday and Friday or something like that. If the Blazers played Tuesday, the spread into like, a post-game show, if we wanted. I don't know. We're going to have to, like, figure that out. I'm going to have to figure that out with, like, my schedule, and I don't know. It kind of sucks having games that early. I wish we had games that were later. I don't know why we got screwed over to the point where it was just like all our games are like noon. We have a game at like 10 a.m. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm not trying to wake up at 10, but we have a game at 10, so that's gonna suck. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. And I might be moving out. I might be moving out at some point during that restart. It's gonna be crazy, man.
I'm pretty sure the games are gonna end up being on the local broadcast too.
Yeah.
For those that are in the area.
Yep. There's no way it wouldn't be. They're not gonna give up that revenue. Who's up at 10 a.m.? I know, that's what I'm saying. I ain't up at 10 a.m. My hours are a lot better than they used to be, but I'm still not up that early.
What's up, King of the Mat?
Trevor Ariza, welcome to the channel. Can tell you're new. Destrom, get back on your main account, bro. What's up, King? It's cool to see some new names or some old names that we haven't seen.
Fireball Plus. I don't know if these new people that are saying what's up are just different burner accounts or if they're real.
Yeah, I don't know. They both said what's up.
If you are new, hello. If you're a burner account, that's lame.
Burner accounts make sense when we're in the swing of things, not when it's like our first stream back on this channel, because I don't know. From like my perspective, it's really cool to see new names and like new people in here, man.
Yeah.
Especially because like we went on a stretch where after the season shut down, where it was just like we were streaming and getting like 12 viewers a stream. It was like the same people, so it was cool. It was chill, you know what I mean? It was just like for a long time, it was just, you know, just like 12 people for like a couple months there. So it is cool to like get some Blazers news and come live on here and get 60 plus viewers and see a bunch of new names. But that's 3 new names in a row that said what's up. And they're all like generic names: Rap Mechanic, Fireball Plus, and King of the Mat. Anyway, or there's just like people that never like comment, and they're like, "Oh, since these new people are commenting, what's up? I'm gonna join in," and they're just trolling us. I don't know.
Since Kyle Wilson has donated, I'll give him a shout out for his podcast. He said he started one with his roommates called Viral Sports. You can look it up on Apple, Spotify, and other sites.
I'll have to listen to it. When am I gonna guest on it, bro? That's what I want to know. I'm just kidding. But you could like introduce me like I'm like a legit media person. Joining us is Tori Jones from from the network Blazers Uprise or something like that. I don't know.
I'm gonna put Kyle on the spot. Who would you rather have as? No, just kidding.
Oh man, I'm still trying to get CJ to give me some wine for free, man. It's not working. I said it was better from the source, man. It would be, like water. It's better tapped from the source, right? CJ's wine, it's better from the source. It's better from CJ himself, right? It's just how it's gonna taste the best. So I wanted some CJ wine from the source himself, but the campaign isn't working on Twitter. Michael Dizzy D has been trying to help me out too. Appreciate it, bro. It's not working, man. It's kind of tragic.
Yeah, usually it's fairly charitable, but
yeah, no, I don't know. It'd just be cool to because I wanted to get drunk for a stream, so I said I would get drunk off CJ's wine on one of the live streams if he gave me some free wine, but it ain't happening. We might just have to do it regardless, man. We might have to do it. That would be like a cool 3,000 subscriber special. We celebrate drinking some wine on a post-game stream because we hit 3,000 subs. But I don't think we're going to hit 3,000 subs for a while because the sub growth is I can't talk all of a sudden. The sub growth has been kind of minimal. I don't know. Obviously, it's going to be during this quarantine, but
we might get how many do we need? 200?
Yeah, we need 205 right now.
Maybe get some interest after the season restarts, especially if the Blazers do well.
Yeah,
we'll have some emotional stuff to talk about with Nurk coming back, Collins playing, all that kind of stuff. If they get a big victory over Memphis that first night, the stream could be pretty
stuff.
popping.
You mean people want to see you cry?
Yeah, I'll cry.
Emotional. You'll cry,
dude. If we had a show after Nerd broke his leg, I might have cried on stream.
Bro. Yeah.
That was horrible.
I was at that game, so you would have just had to solo that for a bit. I've been good luck, bro. Carry the channel. Yeah. That was rough being there in person. But what's up, Caleb? Drunk stream hype. Maybe we'll make that. See, I would make that a chat donation goal, but I still got to live up to my last one, so I'm not gonna do a new one until my last one.
There was a game where I drank a bunch. It was right around the Super Bowl because I had some beer left over from a party I went to, and no one noticed.
Man, I haven't been drunk in 3.5 years.
Yeah, I normally don't drink. I like I said, I drank a little bit at Super Bowl. I had
3 years. The last time I was drunk, I was in a suite in Las Vegas and just dying all over the bathroom floor. That was fun.
All right, RIP Blazers. I'm going to try to explain this to you for the last time. The Heat can't just decide to sign and trade Dragic. We'd have to agree to sign to Dragic for more than the mid-level exception, and then they would have to work out a trade with Miami to trade Ariza. At that point, we would have had to already decide whether Ariza was going to be on the team or not. So it's possible we wouldn't even have Ariza to trade if they didn't pick up his option. Or if we did pick up his option, the chances of us contacting Dragic, getting him to agree to sign, and then contacting Miami and getting them to agree to a sign and trade is very, very slim. So that's not how sign and trades usually work, and it would be basically less than a 1% chance of that happening, I think. So it'd be cool to think about that kind of thing, and I would definitely pursue Dragic and try to sign him for the mid-level exception. And if he wanted more, say well, what happened? Would you give us permission to try and talk a sign and trade with the Heat? But since they got Iguodala and they have Jay Crowder, players like that, Ariza's not a huge need for them if they re-sign Crowder. I don't know.
Granted, yeah. I mean, like, that's 1,000% true. It is kind of fun to think about, like, what if we could do something like that, and then you start trend small forward, you have Dragic, Hood, Bielitsa, and Whiteside off the bench.
Yeah.
That'd be the best bench. Bro, that bench would be like another starting lineup, bro. Like a team with, like, Dragic, Hood, Bielitsa, and Whiteside, and, I don't know, Slot and Simon. I don't know. That team would maybe be a playoff team in the East, considering how bad the East is. I don't know.
Who's starting at the 3 in that scenario?
Hood. You'd have Hood off. The bench would be.
You just said Hood off the bench, so that's what I was.
Trent.
Okay.
Like, if you wanted your bench to be as good as possible, maybe start Trent. You have Collins there. I don't know. Like, you have Trent as the starting 3 instead if you were able to get Dragic. I don't know. That's fun to think about. I'm not. Obviously, though, the realism factor with it is sign and trades are not something you should expect or plan on doing, because so many things have to go right to be able to accomplish a sign and trade that it's just not something that should be like a part of your plan. So usually we don't even discuss like potential sign and trades just because it's
Dionysus we're talking about next year, not this year. And Madden Mobile, we mentioned Bielitsa because Torrey, that's one of his dreams is we have a trade exception that Bielitsa would fit into. Yeah. So he wants us to trade our first round pick for him this summer.
Get back second round picks too. The Kings have multiple. I think that's something the Kings would consider. They got a logjam of bigs. Bielitsa's a 40% 3-point shooter, smart player, like a little below average defender, but I don't think he's terrible. So I'm a fan of Bielitsa's game.
Hazonia was not a sign and trade. We just signed him outright. Layman was technically a sign and trade, but we didn't get anything back in the sign and trade, so it wasn't like a normal sign and trade. There was literally no reason to make it a sign and trade other than to create a very tiny trade exception for the Blazers that went unused, so it doesn't even really matter.
Yeah. Travioli says, will $100 still get us a wrap? That $100 was achieved a while ago, and I just haven't been able to get it out.
Right after he stopped paying attention.
Right after he stopped paying attention.
Right after he got married, yeah.
But I'm in a house with people that are like always here, so I'm not gonna record it. I'm not gonna record it with people in the house. Like, I'm gonna legitimately try and make it good. Now I got this brand new mic. It should sound like even better than it would have because this mic is good. And I've learned how to edit vocals in a way just to make them sound better, which is done with any music that's put out there. So I'll get that at some point. When I move out, that'll be one of the first things I'll do when I move out is to get that, since I'll be in my own place by myself. So that's what I meant by I would start like another like donation goal thing to get us to drink, but I still got to put that out to live up to the last one. So yeah. I ain't gonna do that yet. I'll put out an anthem for you guys.
Yes, we got the rights to some European trade to make it a valid trade, but it's a player that'll never play in the NBA, so that's why I said it didn't matter. It was basically traded him for nothing. But yes, technically we got the rights to a player that will never play in the NBA.
Oh, look, it's Kappen. Blaze, isn't that Kappen?
No, that's Trevin.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Who's Kappen's other burner? I forget.
Yo-Yo Mama.
Oh yeah, that's right. I miss him, man. He's been gone for a while. What's up, Chris? What if we? How am I gonna read that? I was gonna read the what if we said and trade Ariza, throw in the MVP Jaylen Adams for former MVP LeBron James. Dude, I cannot talk. Like my English language skills are just escaping me right now. I wonder, bro. As far as the stream highlights go, though, I am going to legitimately like offer to pay somebody for that. But like, I don't know who. Like, I'd want somebody that's like good at editing. You know what I mean? That's like proven at editing. I don't know if we have anybody that watches us like that. You know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
If any of you guys, I know people's mix edits, but I don't know if I trust it. Bro, he would get like too like trolly with it. You already know. Oh, you know he'd use some like emojis and I don't know. Is Jaylen Adams more Kyle Lowry or Fred VanVleet? I don't know. I haven't really watched him play. I haven't watched any highlights before this. Thoughts on signing Crab. If he can remember to shoot, he could be all right back up in case of injuries. I'm not a fan of it. He's been a 36% three-point shooter the past 2 years. That's like average, but that's like the only skill he has. Like he's a one-dimensional three-point shooter. That's like the only thing he can do, but he doesn't do it well. He's just like a 36% or so. I'm not a fan. You can go out and find like a what was the guy's name from Dallas? The shooter?
Ryan Brokoff.
Yeah, you could go out and find a Ryan Brokoff, who I think would be a better option than Alan Crabb because like he's still a one-dimensional. Did he?
Yeah,
that's a solid signing because he's a one-dimensional shooter, but at least he can shoot well because he's like a 40%er. He actually gave like just watching him, I don't know why he just gave me Duncan Robinson vibes. You know what I mean? Like they're both 6'7", they're both like unheralded, both can shoot the ball really really well. Like I don't know. I feel like if given a chance, he could maybe become like a consistent, decent role player on an NBA team. Thing is, Duncan Robinson can defend. That's something that people don't really realize. People assume that he can't defend just because he's like a. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people assume that like the 3-point shooters that are like white can't defend. You know, like because you got like the JJ Redicks, the Kyle Korvers, you know what I mean? Like those types of players, 3-point specialists usually aren't good defenders. And like Duncan Robinson, like that's what he is, he's a 3-point specialist, but like he can actually play some defense.
Yeah, kind of.
Like not great, but he's not below average.
I think he's low below average, but
I mean, advanced defensive stats paint him as above average. And from what I've seen watching him, like he's just like solid. Like he doesn't really make mistakes defensively, and he's just solid.
They hide him because they surround like the rest of the team's pretty good defensively.
Yeah,
so.
But I mean, like even if you hide CJ, he's still gonna like randomly give up a back cut or
right.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
So that's the thing. It's like what I noticed is like he doesn't really make mistakes. So he's decent. You know, for like a 3-point specialist, he's a solid defender, is what I'd say. So that's like part of the reason why he's like good. It's because he's not like I feel like JJ Redick, Kyle Korver, guys like that. Like yeah, they can hit threes, but they're gonna go out there and make a bunch of defensive mistakes and not have the size to hold their own. People don't realize Duncan Robinson's like 6'7". Like he's big. He's bigger than people think. I think so.
Yeah, the Bucks aren't trading Middleton for CJ, so you can just forget that.
Yeah,
and
I wish.
CJ for Levine would be terrible. That's how we go back to being a lottery team.
Levine.
Levine. Oh, look who decided to show up.
Who did we get? Oh, with all the emojis. Hey, those emojis look pretty clean in chat though. I'm glad. I like how they turned out. If you guys want access
to yellowish one,
that's like a Super Saiyan Dame. It's like Dame with like the I don't know. But I can add another one. If we get more channel members, I can add more emojis, and you guys can use those emojis. We'll also be, for one of the games, even if it's just 2 people, we'll still do it. Do plan on watching a game live and, like, super, I don't know, imposing the scoreboard on the screen. I don't know exactly how to explain it. But for channel members who donate $5 a month or more, we will have, for one of these 8 games, a live stream where we live stream us while we watch the game and we react to it live with you guys. We can't put the footage on the screen, but you guys should be able to like match up your feed with ours, if that makes sense. So we can all watch the game live on a live stream. But that's only for channel members. That's for people who donate $5 a month or more. There's a join button down below this video that you guys should be able to click and should be able to get more information on not only that, but the other perks that I'm offering you guys with the channel memberships. I hope you guys like the outro slide. I finally put an outro slide on my videos shouting out my Patreon donors and my channel members. So you get your name featured on that. There's a lot of other perks. You guys should go check them out. I'm gonna consistently plug that though. That's just the YouTuber side of me.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta do what I gotta do.
As you should. You don't really plug a lot of stuff, so.
I know. I think I'm pretty good about it. So if I'm plugging something, I hope people listen.
Anime, it's your turn to pronounce something wrong. Anime Jake.
Emojis.
No, he said he cringed the way you said.
How do you say it? I've never really heard people say it. How do you say it? How do you say it, Eric?
I don't know.
Yeah.
How did you say it? Super what? Saiyan?
Is it something like that? How do you say it?
I don't know.
Yeah, so you didn't even know it was wrong.
I'm saying coming from the person who pronounces stuff all wrong all the time.
Yeah.
It was funny that you
okay, yeah. I thought you were trying to.
No, I wasn't talking crap.
Leave that boat and throw me in it.
You're coming into the boat with me.
Okay, as long as I'm in the boat with you, I'm fine.
Yeah,
we can. So I'm not lonely. All right.
Yeah, OG on a new boy.
Where you had like a stretch like where a month on stream. I think it was like when you just started streaming, so maybe it's just because you were just new or something. But you just had like this stretch where all of a sudden, like almost every name you said, it was like, Eric, what are you talking about? It was funny.
I just say OG now.
How do you say it? Yeah, he's giving me crap about saying it wrong, Anime. But he literally spelled emojis as IMOGEES. So
and then he spelled it again wrong with an I too.
Yeah.
It's EEMO.
And it's that. I think that's how you spell it. Tyler, geez, we were just talking about mispronouncing things, and now we have Tyler Kiopodopsy.
Kiopodopsy. Yeah, nice.
I kind of like saying that, but I feel like I butchered it too. He says, what about Jonathan Simmons? He played for the Spurs and Magic. I mean, he was good last year in the G League. It's just like, is he better than Nasir? Is he better than Gary Trent? No. He might be a guy that Stotts wouldn't like play above those guys, maybe, just because he's not like the big name like a J.R. Smith or an Shumpert or a Gerald Green. But
he's another one of those guys who's an okay defender, but he doesn't space the floor, so it doesn't really help us out like Ariza was.
Yep.
So, like, what's the point? I'd rather just let Trent try to be that role and give him the minutes to either sink or swim. Same with Little over a guy like Simmons. I mean, he does have a little bit of experience, but I don't know. I'd rather just give those minutes to the younger guys and either have them blow up or completely fail and then realize that we didn't have a chance whether we had Jonathan Simmons or not anyway. So, yeah.
Dennis Gary Trent Jr. is definitely better than Anthony at this point. You say it like saying. I guess the I is silent. At least I was close. Tyler, you don't have to spam your question 4 times in chat. If we see it, we see it. But the more you spam your question, the less likely we are to respond. Would you do Mo Bamba for Biggie? Definitely. Come on, Destrom.
That's a dumb question. Come on.
Like, well, yeah, and I'd do LeBron James for Trevor Ariza too. Like, Mo Bamba, I still have hope in. He just needs to find a different team. Our team wouldn't be the best for him, but he's still noticeably better than Biggie. It's not even a question.
Do you think Nasir is still a good draft pick? Absolutely, for me.
Yeah. I mean, the jury will still be out until like 4 or 5 years into his career. He's still very young, so still got to wait and see how he develops. But at this point, there's no reason why he's not. Because we knew when we drafted him, he was raw and going to be like a long-term project. I still have a lot of faith in him becoming something.
If your answer to that is no, I'd be interested to see who you would have rather taken there.
Exactly.
That was realistic as well.
Exactly.
Because right after you got Dylan Windler, Kevin Gale, Jordan Poole, Keldon Johnson, Kevin Porter, Claxton, Akpala, Carson Edwards. I mean, I don't know. I take Little over most of those guys long term.
I mean, Kevin Porter looked decent his rookie year, considering he was looked at as kind of like a project too. But I don't know. Like, this was the one year where it was like everybody wanted Nasir Little when he was there on the board, because everybody like always wants the small forward, and then they get pissed when we draft an Anthony Simons or something. Oh, we drafted a guard. Oh my God, you know what I mean? The same people today that were saying, we signed a guard, what the hell? Were the same people that are saying, why did we draft Anthony Simons? He's a guard. And now they love Anthony Simons, right? But so everybody wanted the small forward, and it was like far and away Nasir Little was the best player on the board at that point in the draft, the best prospect on the board. He was supposed to go like late lottery, and he fell to 25. So it was like the one year where like everybody had agreed, like, we want Nasir Little. So I don't think I'd be surprised if a Blazer fan out there tried to make the claim that they wanted somebody else at 25, because the guys drafted below him were nowhere near the caliber.
The only person that I will give someone credit for is Bull, because there were people that wanted him. Not saying that me particularly, I did not want him, but there were several people when he was still on the board at 25 that wanted him.
Doesn't count though, because he's an Oregon Duck, and Blazer fans, there's always a section out there that just wants the Blazers to be made completely of Oregon Ducks. Like, there's fans out there that wish Jordan Bell was our starting power forward, and Boucher was our starting center, and Dylan Brooks was our starting small forward, and that Peyton Pritchard was going to be our starting point guard next year, and Tyler Dorsey was still in the league and our starting shooting guard. Like, you know that there's like Ducks fans out there that just like want us to just load up on Ducks players. So that's what that was, the Bull thing, I feel.
Well, we already know that Bull is the next Jokic, right?
A lot of you guys probably won't get that, but we had a run-in with a Nuggets fan, and he was just hyping up Bull, and it was just cringy. So that's exactly my point. I see Blazer fans asking for us to draft Peyton Pritchard at 14 overall this draft. It's like, okay, probably those same Blazer fans that are like, why do we sign a guard? Want Peyton Pritchard at 14 overall, even though Peyton Pritchard's like a second-round prospect and not really a guy that we need. Like, it's ridiculous.
And no, Peyton Pritchard is not trash, but he's also not, like, I don't know. We just don't need him on this team.
I think he'll probably be like a decent like backup point guard throughout his career. Like a guy that can shoot and feisty on the defensive end. You know, he doesn't have like the tools defensively. But like neither did Matthew Dellavedova coming into the league, and like he had Matthew Dellavedova like had that motor and the energy and the attitude to be a good defender. I feel like Peyton Pritchard could be a decent defender just because he has like a good motor, and he's feisty and he plays hard on that end, and he can shoot as well. So maybe just like a 3-and-D point guard like that can play make a little bit and finish around the rim a little bit. Like that'd be a good backup point guard. So I mean, he does have upside to be a starter maybe at some point, but he's like 22, right? So it's like he's not that. He's 23. He's 23. Because he's... God, I forget. Because I played against him and he was in high school the same time I was. He's 2 years younger than me. Yeah, he's like 22, 23, right? So it's like he's going to be in his prime in 4 years anyway. And Dame's still probably going to be kind of in his prime or just getting out of his prime. Like Peyton Pritchard would never really get a chance. And he'd take away from like developing Anthony Simons, who's 3 years younger than Peyton Pritchard and has more upside in my opinion. So drafting Peyton Pritchard doesn't really make sense for me.
Just want to say shout out to Michael Slayton. Said he's been he's thanked us for the entertainment in quarantine and said that he needed this. So what's up, Michael? Glad to have you listening.
Yep. Sorry I didn't reply. Sorry.
No, it's all good. But we are on, if you haven't seen our other channel, is where we usually do our streams. We just did it on this channel because of the big news of the Jaylen Adams signing today. But
big news.
If you don't subscribe to our other channel, we go live more often on that one.
Yep. 2 times a week usually right now.
Dionysus asked if I would recommend moving to Beaverton and Hillsborough. Where are you moving from? That's kind of the question, I guess. Well, it's a nice area, I guess.
Wait, didn't you say you were in Vancouver? I would not move from Vancouver out there, bro. I'm just saying. We actually have some character. We're not completely generic.
Yeah, it's not generic, but
what's not generic about Beaverton? Like Tigard, and I don't know. I feel like they're just like they're nice, but like nothing. There's like it's just generic suburb.
I would definitely say if money's an issue, to stay out in Vancouver because it's way more expensive than it should be in like the Portland suburbs.
I feel like it's that way here. So
but it's still cheaper than this area.
I don't know.
But yeah, Vancouver's super generic.
What are you talking about, bro? Our waterfront, you guys have nothing compared to that. Nothing close compared to like what our waterfront will be. And like our downtown, like
you guys don't have how long has Vancouver been there? You're finally developing the waterfront.
Okay, well at least we're developing a waterfront. At least we have water to develop on. Like our downtown is nice though. Like Esther Short Park, like our downtown is nice.
Okay.
I mean, you're tripping. You're a hater. You're a Vancouver hater. I'm not even gonna listen to anything you're saying in regards to Vancouver. You hating on my town, man. But I don't know. You don't even live in Beaverton, bro. Why you got pride for Beaverton?
I don't. You always just say
got Beaverton. He got that Beaverton pride, man. He's out there in North Plains, past Hillsborough.
I grew up with a Portland address, but I basically lived on the border between Hillsborough and Beaverton, so like I kind of
Beaverton
have all three.
Beaverton is way better than Vancouver. No riots, protests, super chill. Vancouver doesn't have riots or protests. What are you talking about? And this coming from somebody who like every evening drives around downtown Vancouver, drives all over Vancouver. They don't have protests or riots or anything. Vancouver is okay. Portland has way more options. Well, yeah, Portland will, because it's Portland. But like Beaverton, like you're a little closer. So if you're like trying to go to Portland a lot, then yeah, it makes sense to live a little closer. But I love Vancouver, man, and it sucks that this pandemic slowed down our waterfront. But I'm gonna have to.
I'm gonna have to mute again. Hold on.
Go ahead. You don't even have to say you gotta mute. We can all tell that you gotta mute because the little things popping off. But yeah, he muted at the perfect time. He is just a Vancouver hater. His whole family making a cameo appearance. But yeah, no, he's a Vancouver hater, man. I don't know. I love Vancouver DNIs, so I love like our downtown. I feel like people just hate on Vancouver for some reason, even though our downtown's super nice. And where Eric's kid's still awake. Just kidding, we love you, Eric. Yeah, I mean it's pandemic time, so everything is messed up. Vancouver would be cooler if we had another bridge going over there. I 1000% agree. I think there should be like a opposite of 205. Like there should be an interstate between like Vancouver and Hillsborough. It'd be a lot easier to get out that way. And it'd be another bridge out that way. It'd help traffic everywhere if that thing existed. But no, y'all do have a Hooters in Vancouver. Yeah, we're great. We're goated for the Hooters. But Vancouver,
guys, I talked about this last stream.
What?
The sleep schedules are super messed up.
I told him
the kids they haven't left the house much in like 4 months, so like it's hard for them to like get on a normal sleep schedule.
Yeah.
Plus one of the youngest is still 3, so she falls asleep and then she won't go to bed at her normal time because she just took a nap and yeah.
Yeah. I just told him it's pandemic time. Caleb says second bridge won't be happening now. We already have 2 bridges, so it'd be like third bridge. But like I was talking about like an extra, like a different. It'd be nice to have an interstate between Hillsborough and Vancouver, not just necessarily like because they don't want to pay for a new I-5 bridge. It's not like a third bridge that they don't want to pay for. They're probably never going to do a third bridge, but I would love to have like a mirror image of I-205 so that like if we had a mirror image of I-205, like an interstate going between like Vancouver and like Hillsborough somehow, it would take me like 20 minutes to drive out to Eric instead of 45. Like it's actually insane. How much quicker it'd be to get out that way. To go to the coast, it'd cut like 30 minutes off for us. Because you gotta go like all the way through downtown Vancouver, or downtown Portland. And then out that way.
Dennis asked this question earlier. I want to make sure I get to it. Would you still trade for Kevin Love? We never wanted to trade for Kevin Love.
Still.
So yeah, it's still a no for us. And bye, Kyle Wilson. Good to have you on.
No, man. Every time Vancouver gets brought up, Eric hates a little bit. Then I start getting super defensive because I got that pride, and then Eric then I talk about it too long, and Eric's like, "Shut up," and I'm like, "No, don't hate on my city," and then we fight.
Yeah. I've just literally never met anyone that disagreed with Vancouver being trash. Like, it's just funny to me.
You don't talk to people that are from here, though.
Yeah, I do. My whole life, everyone I've ever met from Vancouver would says it's like trash, Vantucky, all that kind of stuff.
How
so you're the
long
first
ago was
person
that,
that I've ever met that's been like, don't make fun of my city. It's also like, it could be. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just saying, like, everyone I've ever known.
It's like
other
the
than you
cliche thing to do is to hate on Vancouver. Like, it's like the cliche thing to do. I feel like, which I don't understand why. But also, like, I can see, like, why, like, 20 years ago Vancouver sucked or whatever. Like, what they've done, like, the last 10 to 20 years, like, revitalized downtown a bit, and now they're working on the waterfront. Like, it's just consistently improving. And once we get this waterfront done, it's going to be, like, some, like, that no other suburb of Portland has. Like, that it's already, like, just the architecture. Don't get me started talking about Vancouver, because I'll talk it up, man. Because too many people talk it down, so I gotta talk it up. Like, I gotta counteract all the bullshit that's said about my town. But that waterfront's gonna be beautiful, man. The waterfront's gonna be beautiful. The architecture, like the types of buildings, like it's not like they're just putting 10-story buildings and just generic buildings. Like, the architecture's beautiful. The waterfront's beautiful. Mm-hmm. I love my town. I hate people that call it Vantucky. It sounds like you got an earthquake there in Legoville. Vancouver is like the Kansas side of Kansas City. What the hell are you talking about? That makes no sense, bro. See, that's what I mean. That makes no sense. Kansas is flat. And they don't got legit trees. We're not flat, and we got legit trees, bro. Am I wrong? I saw you like roll your eyes. Am I wrong though? We got nice trees here.
I think he just means, like, people think Kansas City is nice, but the Kansas side of it isn't as nice as the Missouri side. But bro, I don't know. I've never been to Kansas City,
I don't know. There's a lot of parts of Vancouver that are really nice, and there's parts that are like really like scuffed and like sketchy and bummy. Like, but I feel like that's the way of any town, right? Any suburb, like, you're gonna have good parts, you're gonna have bad parts, right?
Sure. I think Vancouver's probably better than Gresham.
Oh, well, every place is better than Gresham. I mean, like, Tigard probably has less bad... Tigard,
oh,
like,
yeah,
Beaverton is
just... in Missouri. You can tell it.
Tigard and Beaverton are just, like, newer. Like, it's newer, so it doesn't, like... But there's a lot of parts of Vancouver that are new. There's a lot of parts of Vancouver that are, like, really old. I kind of like that. It has some character. I don't know. It's not just the same thing. But you got, like, segments. I need to make a map of, like, a diagram. I don't know. That would be fun to make, just for myself. But, yeah. Like, the southern part of Vancouver is, like, really bummy. The northern part and the eastern part are nice. And our freeways make sense, because Portland's are kind of meh.
Marco, message me that on Discord. I'm going to lose it in chat.
You know, when I can, like, come out of talking about Vancouver for 5 minutes and we still have the same amount of viewers we did before, you know, that's a dub. So.
Well, you're playing to some of your audience here.
Am I? But not the majority of them. West Vancouver is the nicest. Like, if you like historical downtown, like, older buildings, like, yeah. Northwest Vancouver's nice, but...
Okay. Now I'm starting to think Beaverton isn't nice, because Destrom thinks it is.
Yeah. See, I told you, man.
It's kind of question. Just playing Destrom.
Didn't you have to troll Destrom for what he was saying in Discord earlier?
Yeah, I just have to mention he did make fun of himself earlier in the stream. I just didn't mention it. But
you were taking it easy on him.
He posted a bunch of highlight streams of Jaylen Adams in Discord, and he posted one on Twitter as well, and they were of the wrong Jaylen Adams. And he was comparing his game to, like, Lonzo Ball and all this stuff, and it wasn't even the right one. But he was like, "Man, I'm really starting to like this guy."
Which I like. It didn't register that there was two Jaylen Adams for me. I don't know.
It's kind of a generic basketball name, but
yeah. And then neither of them are really all that notable.
well, because like I said earlier, I was looking at different sites, and some sites say 6'2", and some say 6 feet. So like,
Isn't
I was trying to look at the combine measurements, but it kept going to 2019 because there's like Jaylen Horde and Jaylen Hands, and then there was some Adams that was on there, and like I couldn't find the one. Like, he might not even have been at the combine, I guess.
Yeah, this year you'll have Gerald Green, and next year you'll have Jalen Smith, and I feel like I'm missing out on. There's so many Jalen's coming into the league now. It started with Jaylen Brown. I don't know. I don't know why this is so comfortable. Probably looks hella weird. I should stop doing it. Yeah, there's a lot of Jalen's. I think Jaylen is like one of the most popular baby names now.
I'm guessing Caleb. The reason it's so hard to find his height is because he wasn't on an actual roster at the beginning of the season when all the teams had his like actual or had to get physically measured because the NBA imposed that new rule this year without shoes. So I'm guessing the 6 feet is without shoes and the 6'2" is with shoes. I'm not sure. That would just be what I would guess as to why there's a discrepancy.
Yeah. Yep. God, what was I gonna look up?
Drummer 05 Boogie has already been ruled out. He said he's not signing with anyone and not playing in the restart. So he would not make a good replacement for Ariza because he plays center and we have a bunch of centers, but also he's not playing. So.
Yep. Oh, we need to go into phase 3. Sorry, I was just looking at this. Bro, we submitted our application 3 days ago and we haven't gotten anything back, man. They're like waiting until we have like a spike and then they're going to be like, nope, you had a spike, you can't go to phase 3.
What's it like to be taller than most everyone? I don't know. It's fine.
You can see where you need to go through crowds a lot easier than the average person. And girls like you more. Just kidding. Some do, but that's probably not the ones you want that care too much about that. Destrom is probably easier to get girls. Anyway, we'll probably get off here soon. It's just weird to be logging off with 30 viewers since like 30 viewers has been our peak lately on the other channel. July 1st is when... What does your kid play with? Is that Legos?
They're building like a train set thing.
Oh,
yeah.
Got you. I was gonna say that sounded like blocks of some type. July 1st, when everyone wears a mask. Everyone should be wearing a mask to begin with, but that's when it goes to place. I can't. Why can't I talk? It's probably because it's past midnight. That's when it goes into place for Oregon. I thought it was already in place.
It was for like 7 of the counties, but where Scalabrini lives, they just announced today it was going into effect for the whole state.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
It's true about girls in height. I am 5'10", and that is apparently short now. 5'10" is like above average for a male, so that's karma. Those probably aren't the girls you want to be messing with. For me, there's pressure on me to like... I'm 6'4", so like I have potential to have an NBA baby if I, choose the right mother. So, but that's like pressure, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just kidding. I'm not heightist. I don't discriminate based off height, for the most part.
I had this thing in my family where my dad was 6'2", his dad was 5'10", and his dad was 5'6". Mm-hmm. So it's like 4 generations where the firstborn son has been 4 inches taller than his dad.
Bro,
But I don't think my son's gonna get to 6'10". He's super tall, but not 6'10".
Bro, if he got to 6'10" and he wasn't an NBA player, I would hate you, bro.
I know.
You could be balling out from the money he's making and putting Blazers Uprise on the map 20 years from now after 20 years of failing or whatever. 15 years of failing to like get on the national map, but then your son could be first overall pick with your mentoring, if you mentor him well, and then Blazers Uprise can replace ESPN. Like, that should be your master plan for your whole entire life.
Like I said, I don't think.
Harry doesn't know what to say, man. Pick her right, Tori. You can do it. Hey, man, I gotta use you as motivation, right, Travioli?
LeVar Ball.
What?
I think he's saying that I need to be LeVar Ball with him.
Yeah, 1,000%, bro.
I think my youngest has more of a shot at being good at basketball.
Your daughter?
My daughter, my 3-year-old. Yeah.
What's that?
We have like one of those little Fisher Price hoops, and she's got a comparable shot to him already.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. But yeah. You can eat that.
Eat what?
She still has her pizza sitting there for dinner.
You trying to sound like you were trying to say that quietly so we couldn't hear. You can eat that. You sound very, very weird. I'm not going to respond to LeVar Ball saying stuff about Blazers can't win. We're not ESPN. We don't give any importance to anything that comes out of LeVar Ball's mouth. Dude's just a clown that doesn't really know shit. Sorry, I'm leaning in to read. That's why I'm so funny. Mic closer. I'm also leaning in because I like getting my voice closer to the mic. I think it sounds better. But it looks weirder on the camera. But they aren't always taller. I went to school with Mel Count's grandkids, and the tallest one is 6'8", and the shortest one is 6'3". Yeah, I mean, there's a randomness factor to it. My dad's 5'9", so I'm 6'4". So if I had a son that had the same increase, he'd be 6'11". He'd be that'd be legit.
Yeah, my kids have both been in the 100th percentile for height. Not the oldest one, obviously, but the two youngest ones.
That's dope.
For a while, my son was he was in the 90th percentile for almost a year ahead of where he was.
That's insane. That's insane, man. Dionysus, what? I'm curious. What part of Vancouver you live in? I don't want to know your address. I'm just curious what part of Vancouver you live in. And then we're probably going to wrap this up because I'm starting to yawn. It's that time of the night where I get tired but not tired enough to fall asleep, and then I'll get a second burst of energy and fall asleep at 4 a.m. Is my chat frozen? I think my chat froze. Vancouver Heights? I have no idea where that is.
Destra Mel Counts is an NBA player from the mid 60s to 70s ish time frame. He went to Oregon State. He's from Oregon. That's why people know him. How tall was Tori at high school basketball team?
Bro, Dionysus lives in a nice area.
Next time you see a DoorDash near there, keep accepting them to try and get delivered to Dionysus.
Probably would never recognize his name. He'd have to recognize mine. I did 2 days in a row deliver to people from my rec league.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was kind of trippy. One was because normally it just shows the first name and the last letter, but one, every now and then, it will show their full name for some reason. So one was a guy that's on my rec league team that I'm hella cool with, and I delivered to him. No, he's 20, so I don't think he understands tipping. But I don't know. I wasn't tripping. It was decent. It was good enough. The other guys tipped well because they're older. But no, I show up at his door and his like girlfriend answers. I didn't even know he had a girlfriend. Girlfriend was cute too. So props to him. But I was, oh yeah, I'm just gonna slide in TYB through DoorDash. Yeah, I'll deliver him his food and then steal his girl. Oh, oh man. But no. So she answered, and I'm like, tell Logan to come here. And she like went there and then came back, and she was like, he said why? I'm like, just tell Logan to come here. She probably goes and gets his ass. He didn't even realize I was delivering his food, which you could see through the app, but he was too busy playing 2K shirtless. Like, all right, bro. But that was funny. I've delivered to somebody I knew in high school, and they were like the first person that never tipped me, so that was cool. It was like, screw you. I don't know. I've delivered to a few people I know, but for the most part, it's just random people. Random people. I had somebody try to scam me last night. I handed the food to them, and then they tried to say 20 minutes later over text that I didn't hand the food to them. I think they were trying to like figure out a way to say, oh, you didn't give me my food, so I should get a refund so they can get free food, which can get me in a lot of trouble. So it's really crummy if people try and do that, because you're literally like it's fraudulent. You're trying to scam to get free food and possibly put somebody's entire job at risk. So I don't know, like if that happens, they can say an order never arrived, and that means I'd get a notification on my like stat sheet that like I didn't deliver an order, which could get me in trouble, but I haven't seen anything pop up there, so I'm fine. I'm hoping that person doesn't go back and try to say that they never got it, because it happened like
people, man,
over a day ago. Yeah, it pissed me off, man. It pissed me off.
Crap happen all the time at the store.
I hate that. See, like for you, like at least like it's your store, you know what I mean? If people try and do that, like what's the downside? For me, it's like I could lose my job, like because somebody's trying to scam, and then it's like my word against theirs because I handed it to them. A lot of them you drop off at the door, so you take a picture of the food at the door, so like that's enough proof to like not get you in trouble. But like the ones where you hand them to people, I don't know.
Take a picture of you handing.
Yeah, I was stressed all day because of that. But I don't know. I'm hoping it'll be fun.
Guys, Tori does not have a Tesla unless he bought a car that I don't know.
I wish I had a Tesla. Shit. I need to buy a new car soon, but I'm definitely not going to be buying a Tesla. I want to start working like 55 hours a week though. I want to rent a house, guys. That's the goal. I want to rent a house in August, so I might start working a ton. It's just like the YouTube takes a hit.
Said he saw a Tesla with young YT on the back of it. So I wonder who that was.
Young YT. I want my shirt autographed by the two of you. We could autograph a Blazers Uprise t-shirt or something. I need to buy a Blazers Uprise t-shirt. I only have one sweatshirt, so I need to buy like my own merch.
What's up, Joel? How you doing? Thanks for watching.
Yep.
Says he's watched a few vids, but I'm fairly new.
Always nice to have new people.
Welcome. Yeah.
We have a live streaming channel. If you're not aware, the link is in the description. So we stream twice a week. We just streamed on the main channel today because of the signing.
Some shorts, some basketball shorts with the Blazers Uprise logo.
That'd be cool. I don't know if I can do so with like my print service provider, so I might have to set up a separate, like a second print service provider, but then integrating that with the website would take some time. I don't think I could do that by myself. I need to hit the guy up who helped me. I need to hit up Hack. I messaged Hack on Discord and he didn't respond, so I don't know how to get in contact with him. I'll probably have to email him. But yeah, so like I want to do like lanyards. A lanyard would be cool because I use it just for like practicality reasons. It's nice doing DoorDash, to be able to just have this around my neck, unsnap it and all that. A lot of people are like, oh, lanyards is for tools or whatever. I don't know. Some people hate on lanyards. I don't know why. It's a practical thing for me, and I like the way it looks, so I rock it. I know some of you guys might, so it'd be cool to do something like this, but with just like Blazers Uprise and then hats. I definitely want a hat. Me and Eric always rocking hats. We need Blazers Uprise hats.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah. The only hat available that's like because I want a snapback or like a flat bill at least, and the only one available through the print provider I use has like the green underbill, and that doesn't fit the dark green like felt looking. Damn. They're popping off with that train set.
Sorry.
You're fun. Travioli just lives everywhere. Travioli all over the place, man. It's a mix between ravioli and travel. He's the traveling ravioli.
So, wasn't it Caleb that asked the question last time that got us sidetracked for like another hour afterwards?
That's ridiculous.
So now he's asking another question that's kind of loaded.
What did he ask? I'm curious.
He asked what was the worst trade suggestion we've seen since we started.
Oh, dude, we've seen so many bad ones. So I can like even say one.
Yeah, like I can't even think of one in particular.
Like bad in terms of like it would be horrible for the Blazers, or bad in terms of like it has no chance of working under the CBA. Like,
yeah, probably both.
Joel says, just wondering why we would sign an undersized guard. The first hour of the stream we did like talk pretty in depth, and if we like got back into it, it'd be like another hour, and we're gonna log off here soon. So you can rewind the stream if you want to hear our thoughts on that. My reaction summed up is basically like, okay, so what? Like, I don't know, it's not a big deal. We still have a roster spot open. He's just ball handling depth. Like, it's not really a big deal. A lot of Blazer fans are kind of freaking out about it and mad, and I don't understand why people would be upset about it. You know anything about post? Or did you want to add on to that? I
was going to say we have, I think it's still Wednesday at 9 or something like that we can still add someone to our roster. And then after that, I think you can only add someone if you have someone test positive or get injured while at the event or leave.
Eunice says, you know anything about Postmates? It's a lot slower than DoorDash. I think you have a lot more grocery orders, which I don't even mess with. I get them sometimes on DoorDash, and I just decline them. I don't know if you can see like your minimum payout when you get offered stuff. I'm not even sure if you can decline offer. I don't know how it works. Like, from when I did research, it sounded worse than DoorDash. So I think Postmates. A lot of times you have to order. You have to like order the food for the customer. So, like, if you get fast food, you have to order it, which occasionally you'll have to do that in DoorDash, like at KFC, but most restaurants get the order through, get the payment through. You literally just have to go there and pick it up. Like Burgerville, you just have to go there to say, oh, I'm here with the DoorDash for Dionysus. And they'll say, okay, because they have it in their system, and they'll bring it out to you. And then you go deliver it. So it's like super simple. In Postmates, it was like you had to like go there and then order it, which can kind of be sketchy. If you say something, then the order's wrong. It's different than what they put in. Like I don't like ordering food for people. I'd rather just go somewhere, say I have an order for them, pick it up, go on my way. There's multiple places where you don't even have to talk to anybody. You can go in and they have a shelf, and if the customer's name's on your bag, you just grab that bag and go. So like Chipotle's like that. So yeah, DoorDash definitely a lot better.
So Caleb asks, is that the deadline the same for converting two-way contracts? So if you're at the bubble, you get to convert your two-way contracts to players and have 17 players on your roster. So that doesn't apply to anyone on the roster. The only way it would is if you wanted to, like the Blazers have that open roster spot. So technically they could sign like Jaylen Horde to an actual contract and then sign someone else to the open two-way contract. I don't know why they would do that, but they could if they really wanted to. But like, I think that transaction window ends for teams that aren't on Wednesday in the bubble. They just had a small window to make moves, so it wasn't unfair that some teams got to make moves and others didn't. And you see it's actually been more moves for teams not at the bubble, I think, than teams that have been there. Like Cleveland's made a bunch of moves, and there's still some teams with some open roster spots. So I think that will end the 8 teams that aren't there's transaction window. But I think that the two-way contracts just get converted to roster spots for the teams that are going.
Yep. Can Eric dunk? No. Not anymore.
I could back in the day. It's been a while.
Trevioli says Brian luckily was only 2 games, but I was ordering room service in the middle of the night. Good way to watch the game.
That's when he was on his honeymoon.
Gotcha. Dionysus says I have anxiety issues and need something easy and minimal interactions. I mean, you do interact with people, but it's very like basic level. You know what I mean? I'm here with a DoorDash for so and so. And then you get the order, and then you go when you deliver it to customers. I'd say about 75 to 80% of them leave it at the door, and basically you leave it at the door. You take a picture of it in the app. When you go to complete the delivery in the app, it'll give you like you have to take a picture of it if you leave it at the door. That's just for it to be like no contact because of the pandemic. So then you take a picture of it in the app and hit complete delivery. And you either like knock on their door, ring their doorbell, or you can text them through the app, which doesn't give away your number or anything. They have like a reusable number in the app, so like masks your guys' actual numbers. You could text them if their food's at their door. I don't know, like. So a lot of it is literally on one delivery. The only interaction you'd have is like picking up the food. Is going to a restaurant saying you have a DoorDash order for so and so. They give you the food. Thank you. Have a nice day. Something like that. You know what I mean? It's just very, very basic. And then a lot of the drop-offs are very minimal. Minimal contact, or sometimes you won't even talk to them. Sometimes you won't even see them. So, yeah.
Who do you think's going to win it all?
The Phoenix Suns.
If you really think that, you should put some money on it. Even a little bit of money would win a lot of money.
I'll put negative $10. Pay me.
I think it's going to be the Clippers.
I think it's going to be the Bucks.
Think
to
so.
be honest, yeah. None
That's
of
a good
us
pick.
are going to pick the Lakers. You know that.
I just think it's going to be weird without any sort of home court advantage. It kind of ruins a lot of those teams'
That's
chances.
part of the reason I was like, maybe they shouldn't come back.
Like the Nuggets, they have such a good home court advantage, except for when they played us last year. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yep, I got my feet up.
I just think with if you would have told me in the beginning of the season that all the Clippers guys would have like a few months to rest and be fresh for the playoffs, I would, because I already thought that the Clippers were going to be pretty high up there, but I think the rest will help them a lot.
Yeah, but he coming
Although
out
with the Bucks having, because Giannis was battling some knee problems, so that should be cleared up.
Yeah, the Heat in the finals would be cool because of Myers. Myers would probably choke, actually, but his biggest game came on Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals, so maybe he would pop off again. I don't know. I don't know.
That was so crazy.
Dude, yeah, I was at Black Rock watching it.
I just remember telling my wife, like, Myers has like 27 points and it's still the first half. She's like, what? Did you say the right name? Like,
Myers, you mean Dame?
Yeah.
Yeah. God, too bad we didn't win that game. But that whole series was just kind of a disaster. But shame on me for what? Myers is for saying he might choke. Hey man, Myers is just a weird. He's a little bit weird mentally. Like I don't know. He gets into his head too much sometimes. It seems like. So I feel like in the NBA Finals, either he'd have like enough adrenaline to like not get in his own head, or he would just really get into his own head. It'd be one or the other. He's one of those types of guys. But yeah, I don't know. Anything else you want to go over? You want to sign off?
Travioli doesn't realize how funny that is.
What?
That comment. He said it's because
probably like, oh, bro, if only Ben was in here, man.
He doesn't have the
Travioli sounds like he knows like the inside joke, but he doesn't. So I don't know if you remember Ben C. Darling Travioli, but he's a huge Illinois fan. He's in our Discord constantly talking about Illinois. Oh, by the way, Travioli, you should join our Discord if you want. We're active in there now. I know we weren't back when you were watching, but now we're like really, really active in there. But we got this guy who's just a huge Illinois fan, so everybody gives him crap. So that's why it's funny that you say he's from Illinois. Draymond with his backpack form. Oh. Dude, I want to play basketball. I haven't played basketball in like a month and a half. Like, I haven't made a shot in a month and a half, bro.
And like 4 months for me.
I still have a stroke though. You haven't like gone to a park once or anything?
All the parks around me have been closed down. Yeah.
See, like they still have like the hoops open and stuff, just nobody's there.
Yeah, a lot of them they took down the rims.
Yeah.
I have a neighbor that has like a little portable hoop. I wanted so bad to just like start shooting on there.
Do it, bro. What are they gonna say? This grown ass 6'6" man just starts shooting on their hoop. What are they gonna say?
I know, it's just like with the times right now, and I don't know them that well, so
gotta become friends with them just to use their hoop, yeah. Or just buy your own hoop. I don't know. Buy a cheap hoop. Milk crate it like Dame did. The hoop I have in front of this house is like you hit the rim and it'll like bend the rim, like sideways. You barely hit the rim. It's like on a wooden backboard and yeah, like the rim is like bent, and if you hit it on like one side, it'll like completely shift the rim. So it's just ridiculous. I don't mess with it, and I'm too lazy to go to an actual park. So I'm hoping my gym reopens if we hit phase 3. Who knows if they'll let us get into phase 3? This application should have been approved by now. That we had 68 cases over the last 3 days. That was reported at once because they lump like the weekend cases in with like Mondays. So I don't know, like that's a decent amount of cases, but we have 500,000 people here, so. But in phase 3, my gym will open. Should open Wednesday. I don't know if the court will be open though. I feel like it might not be. I don't know. There hasn't been any like specific word on it.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping like if we wear masks, we can shoot around. Which makes sense, right? Like, I don't know. Why not? Why wouldn't we be able to shoot around? Like, you're already in the gym, like, close to people. If you're all wearing masks, like, it's pretty safe, right? Like, I don't know.
Didn't you say you had kind of an in with someone there? Maybe they'd let you into the gym or something.
With who?
Like someone who works there or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, everybody that works there knows me pretty well. There's one guy who really knows me, but he doesn't have the power to, like, he'd get in trouble if he opened up the gym or something. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. He doesn't have that type of power. He's just a front desk supervisor. He's not, like, a full, I don't know. Mm-hmm. So I wish, but I don't know. Like, there's a lot of people I know that go to, like, churches and play, like, full pickup games with 15 people there. None of them wearing masks. You know what I mean? So it's like people are already playing.
Yeah, I got invited to a game last Saturday, and I was like, I don't really feel comfortable.
But you wanted to at the same time, huh?
I wanted to, yeah, but I still don't feel comfortable.
Like, what if everybody wears masks? Like,
well, you're still, like, touching each other. You're touching the same ball. You're sweating all over.
Yeah, but didn't they prove that it's hard for it to transfer from surfaces?
But like drops like sweat and stuff you can. So like if you touch your face with like sweat on you like
don't
that.
Touch your fucking face.
I know, but it's so hard when you're sweating and like I'm gonna sweat like a pig since I haven't played it. So I'll be like wiping my face and
I don't know. It's like they said in phase 3 for Clark County you'd be able to have up to 50-person gatherings. I don't know if that means like gatherings with social distancing. You'd be able to have like recreational sports with up to 50 people outdoors, though. I don't know if that like applies to indoors too. Like, I have no idea. But like, if they say it's okay, I'm trying to play basketball. Like,
Yeah.
if I get it, I'll like, I already distanced myself from pretty much everybody, and I wear a mask when I do deliveries, and you know what I mean. Like, I don't think I'd get anybody else sick. I don't want it, but I want to play basketball. Like, it's such like a part of like my everyday life for a whole decade that it's just like the past 4 months. It's just, it sucks. Like, I just won't play, man.
Yep.
But can't right now. So I just sit in my room dribbling this ball and shooting it.
I'm gonna get a better outdoor ball so I can at least go dribble and run up and down my street.
Get those handles.
Yep.
Get those handles. I'm just hoping next year they should have Rip City 3-on-3 unless their response to this whole thing goes south, which it's already pretty crummy. But I mean, that's the government. You know, hopefully scientists can figure this thing out by then. August, like, that's a whole another 13 months, you know what I mean? Like, we should have a vaccine by then that's like distributed, right? Like, I don't know. I know I'm more optimistic than you, but I feel like that's not even optimistic. Like, we should have a vaccine by August of next year.
You'd hope so.
Yeah, I'd hope so. Shoot, man. Because they're talking about early, like, by the very start of 2021. I'd hope halfway through we'd have it. I don't know. Yeah. I just, yeah, I'm just bored, man. I'm working every day is nice, but I wish there was more to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any rascals to look after, so I don't get that entertainment. I know vaccines take a long time, but the timeline on this is sped up more than any other vaccine that's ever been developed. So when you have scientists saying it's possible if everything goes right to have one at the start of next year, then I'm hoping that by mid next year we definitely will. But what were we saying, Eric?
Scalabrini has brought up that they found some pig virus in China that could be another potential pandemic, but they haven't proven that humans can get it yet, which is what usually happens with stuff in these kind of cases. Is it's bad for like an animal, but like human, it's not really super effective against humans.
Yeah, and honestly,
so luckily it doesn't really happen that way. But yeah, it's it would be bad if we had another like virus that wasn't related to this one.
Yeah, I mean, like this virus is like the perfect storm. Like, if that flu thing that they found with those pigs, if that was like really damaging to humans that got it, where humans got it and then they were like immediately very sick, that would be a lot less dangerous to the entire world because you'd be able to identify people that had it. They'd be sick immediately. Yeah. You know what I mean? A lot of them might die. You know what I mean? Like, that's what happened with coronaviruses in the past. SARS, MERS, or whatever it is. It's SARS and MERS. I mixed them up. But they were far more... You didn't really have asymptomatic people with them. So you didn't have people out there thinking they didn't have it, spreading it. And then you had symptoms a lot more quickly. And the symptoms were a lot more drastic. So it didn't spread anywhere near as easily. You know what I mean? So that's why, like, this coronavirus is such a perfect storm, is you have a lot of asymptomatic people. The incubation period is 2 to 14 days where people can be contagious and they aren't showing symptoms yet. And that's for people that do end up showing symptoms, because some people still never do. And then what it does to the body, like, there's a lot of just weird things that it does to the body that are just strange. Like, it's just like a perfect virus.
Yeah, because, like, that's why it kind of bugs me when people say it's like the flu, because, like, if you have the flu, you know you're sick and you can just stay home and or avoid people and not be contagious.
Also, we have a flu vaccine.
Yeah. I mean, even if the flu vaccine is completely ineffective, at least you know when you have the flu and when it's over and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But, like, it's still unclear how long you have coronavirus even after you're done with it, if you're showing symptoms, and how long you can transfer it and all that stuff. So like,
I mean, yeah,
it's really scary. Yeah.
Most people realize it's not just the flu, but you have people out there that like politicize it to downplay it and will say crap like that, and it's just ridiculous, man. I mean, like, we've seen good things with treatment, like mortality rate of people that have coronavirus is going down because they're figuring out better ways to treat it. And now a lot of the people that are getting infected have a lot better chance of fighting it. It's like a younger crowd. The people that are at risk, are being safe. Like, I don't know. We're seeing progress in terms of making it less dangerous. Just in terms of treatment. And I feel like there's a lot of, I don't know, I feel like in the fall we'll have just a lot of different potential treatments that are like ready to be used. I'm just hoping it's good enough to be able to give us some sort of sense of normalcy, because it's just like, at that point we should be able to tell like the long-term damage of it to people that do survive from it, right? Like 6-7 months after, I feel like if you're going to have permanent damage, you're going to have permanent damage by then. Like, should be able to understand the long-term effects by the fall. And hopefully we have good enough treatment where it's like, it's, if you get it, you're not going to die. Like, if the treatment's good enough. I mean, obviously some people still die from the flu, so you're not going to get something perfect. I just hope the treatment gets good enough where it's like, okay, it's not that dangerous to people. We can kind of go back to a sense of normalcy. Like, that's optimistic as hell, and I don't expect it necessarily. I'm just hoping, like,
yeah, for sure.
So I don't know. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
Well,
but
I think it's more likely that it's not back to normal, but people just say, "Screw it, let's go back to normal."
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's my point. Is like, in America, like, you have so many people that have just said screw it, and it's so bad right now. It's like, okay, if we're able to get treatment where it's like not that dangerous, Americans are going to say screw it anyway.
Yeah.
So at that point, like, okay, if we have good enough treatment, then okay, if you're at risk, still stay, keep to yourself. But if you're at risk and still get it, we do have treatment that will probably save your life and you'll be fine. But, obviously still social distance or isolate. But for everybody else, like, okay, we're going to open up for the most part. We're going to open up more than they've already opened up now. Like, that's kind of, I don't know. I could see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have 50% stands. I don't know.
Not to change the subject, but Caleb had perhaps the most random tweet of all time.
Caleb Swanigan?
No, Caleb Pendergraft comment on here.
Oh,
he says, Eric. Oh, yeah, I meant comment in the chat. It says, Eric, for some reason you reminded me of KCP, and I'm not sure why. What?
Contavious. How does Eric remind you of Contavious Caldwell Pope, man? What?
I have no idea what that means or why I reminded him of that. I'm not playing basketball or doing anything like basketball related. That's like I can't think of like a more random name to just like call someone.
See, when you say Caleb had some random tweets, I was thinking Caleb Swanigan when he was like on drugs or whatever the hell. I was like, oh no, he back on the drugs.
He had one bad night on Twitter.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, NASCAR started going back to fans, but they're outdoors. Mm-hmm. And of course it's NASCAR. But like they have like 1,000 people, like 1,000, or they have like 100,000 capacity racetracks, and they're looking at like 10,000, 20,000 people. I think you'd be fine for that. I don't know. There is like lights that they're talking about using for like certain buildings that are like a type of UV light like that are completely. Yeah. I wonder if you could put those in basketball stadiums and have it be effective. Because if you could do that and have it be effective as they say it is, then maybe you could have fans in stadiums. I don't know. But like, obviously, like sweat and that type of stuff. But if players are going to play, they're going to play. It's more like the for fans, it's like the airborne transmission. So if you had far UV lights that could, God, I forget. They made it sound like it was super, super effective at killing any airborne virus particles. Then I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I've just thought about that. Like, who knows? I don't know. Maybe it couldn't be effective just because it doesn't have that type of range. I don't know. I don't really know enough about it, but if I was the NBA, I'd definitely look into that, which I assume they would, if it was possible. But I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't see this particular event, but I did think of that the other day. Like, what if some of these like college football stadiums just tried to say that we're having a protest on the day of their game or something?
Yeah, protest in the stands.
And allow like 100,000 people into the shoe or something.
I feel like that'd be a bad PR move. I feel like that'd be a bad PR using
it would, but you get
yeah.
You get more than 100,000 people showing up.
True, and they want to make their money. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to be optimistic with it. Dang, we still got 28 people. That's insane. Shout out to all you guys. Yeah, this stream is definitely popping a lot more than the streams on the second channel. I knew that was going to be a thing. We did gain a decent amount of subs to that second channel. If you're not subscribed, go do so, because I'm still talking to 29 people. Feels like I should only be talking to 10 people right now because it's 12:45. But that's dope. But we'll probably end up signing off right now because I'm a bit tired. I know Eric didn't want to stay up till like 2 a.m. So
well, last time it was almost 4.
Was it almost 4? God, I don't even remember.
It was. Because we started almost 11 and ended at like 3:45 or so.
God blame Caleb for that. Caleb Pendergraph for asking that question that we talked about for an hour. God, I was like half asleep at the end of that, and you were like half asleep, and it was just a,
3 something.
I don't even remember, but yeah. So, make sure you guys subscribe to the second channel, and once games resume, we'll have a stream here. If we sign somebody else before Wednesday, we'll have another stream on this channel. But the reason I separated the streams was because it helps the videos do better. And the video I posted last did pop off, even though I misinterpreted the table I used at the end of it. I don't care. It's just for entertainment purposes, and it was fun to make like that style of video. I've never really made a video, like a commentary video like that. It's kind of crazy. It has 1,200 views already, though.
R.I.P. Blazers. We are not making another trade topic video right now when there's no trades that are possible. They're not even. It's not even trade season. It's not the off season. You can't make trades right now. So
ask us again in September or October, man.
Yeah, we'll for sure have tons of content with the off season, but it's completely pointless to talk about trades right now.
Yep. 1,000%. Yeah. So, but I think
which is tough because we love talking trades, and we love that time, like trade deadline and off season, talking about it. We like making videos about it, but yeah.
Granted, we don't really have many trade options available, sadly. I'm dribbling off the chair. We don't really have much trade options this summer. It's not going to be like last summer or anything, but I mean, we will get a video or two out about that, or maybe a live show based on that. I don't know.
Well, the thing is,
October, not now. It's still June.
You and me are creative enough to come up with some stuff.
We'll be creative. It'll test us. It'll challenge us, which is good.
Yeah.
We won't back down from that. So. We'll figure some ideas out that we'll never think of for use, but that's fine. It'll be fun. But yeah, it's June, not October. You always talking trades, RIP, man. Even right now when it makes no sense to talk trades, I don't get it, but keep doing you, I guess. I'm driving and texting since I'm getting Taco Bell. I might go get Taco Bell. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty hungry, but don't drive and text, bro. Do not drive and text. Trevor will laugh at that because I was in the group chat driving and texting all evening talking about the Jaylen Adams thing. But I was making money, I was making money. Also, I'm a great driver. Remember, Eric? So I'm here, aren't I?
You're the best texter while driving ever. So
I was looking at my phone like 99% of the time, and I'm still here. Car's still in one piece, right? So I'm a great driver. I'm just kidding. I'm joking for anybody that's about to cancel me over that, since a lot of YouTubers are getting canceled right now. I wanted to, bro, before we start off, do you know who Dr. Disrespect is? Have you heard of that guy?
No.
Okay, he's like the most popular Twitch streamer. Just got randomly, permanently banned from Twitch. Nobody knows why. There's like a ton of conspiracy theories around it. I
saw, both YouTube and Twitch suspended a bunch of, or like banned a few people.
Yeah, well, that was like people that had like sexual assault allegations against them. So like that was stuff that was known. This was like Twitch hasn't said it, and normally Twitch will say why, or the streamer will tweet why they're banned, right? But no, you just had like the most popular Twitch streamer get permanently banned. Twitch won't say why. He won't say why. There's people that are reporting like it's so like top secret as to why he got banned that like Twitch isn't gonna say anything or something, and like I don't know, like there's rumors that like the top streamer broke his contract with Twitch because he wanted to start his own streaming platform, and then there's other people saying that the streamer that got banned probably did something very illegal and is about to get thrown in jail or thrown in prison. Like I don't know, there's so many conspiracy theories, and it's like the, I don't know, for as far as like social media, like as far as like Twitch and YouTube goes, it's probably the most like, it's probably like the biggest cliffhanger I've ever seen, because it happened like 3 days ago and people have just been guessing and talking about it like crazy. So I don't know, I didn't know if you knew anything about that, but I know some of you guys probably do, some of you in chat, so I just want to know what happened with that.
Still be interesting to find out why.
Oh yeah, 100%. I hope that it's not something bad. I hope he's starting a new streaming platform, because Twitch is kind of garbage, so it'd be cool to see like streamers start their own platform and have it take off a bit. But yeah, I don't know, it's just like I love that type of stuff, because that's like, it sounds like a movie plot line in a way, and I don't know, like it's kind of cool seeing like what seems like it would be a movie like play out in real life in a way. I don't know, obviously hope he didn't do anything bad, but it's interesting to just see a cliffhanger in real life like that.
Okay, R.I.P. Blazers, why do you have to call him an idiot for asking what time it is where you are? He didn't know where you live?
Yeah, how's he dumb for not knowing where you live? The hell? What? That was so randomly hostile. Like, sorry, Trevin, I don't know why he called you an idiot, bro.
He thought you lived somewhere other than Portland, so that's why he asked. A lot of people. If he knew you lived in Portland, he wouldn't have asked that question.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people here don't live in Portland. We just had Sandman say greetings from Germany. Shout out to Sandman, out there in Germany, in my birth country, by the way. I was born in Germany. For any of those of you who don't know, I was born over there. My dad was in the army, so we were stationed over there. Anyway, FYI, now you know me a little better. Do you like the movie Ford vs. Ferrari, Tori? I've never heard of it. We have a guy in chat from Germany. Lots of people aren't in Oregon. Exactly.
Just for the record, Tori is not a movie yet.
Nope.
Fully admits it. Yeah.
Yep. I don't really watch movies at all. I don't like watching movies at home. It was actually a contentious point in my last relationship, because she loved her movies and I didn't want to sit there and watch Netflix, so we settled on YouTube all the time. And now all her favorite YouTubers are getting canceled or leaving the platform. So it would have been even worse if that was still like a thing right now. But yeah, I'm not a movie guy.
I do watch a lot of movies, but I have not seen that one yet. So,
bro, like I love how that turned into me talking about my ex somehow. Like, bro, especially the later it gets, the more I'll like take something, like turn it into something completely unrelated.
Oh, you're still in that stage.
But I can carry I love having Eric here, and Eric makes the stream a lot better than it would be, but I do talk enough to be able to carry a stream by myself. So.
Hey, what's up, Den Third?
Yeah, you're...
How are you still going? Do you not know us, man? I feel like anyone who says that doesn't...
I know, why do so many people say that? Like, literally, most of our streams are like this long at this point. Especially the late night ones.
Den Third, our last stream was like 5 hours.
Yeah, so We ain't even close, and we're about to get off. But I saw the stream start. I feel like people like see the stream start and then like go like do something for 2 hours and come back and be like, "Oh my god, you guys are still live?" Yeah, we are, man. Trevor, shut up.
Oh, dead third.
R.I.P.
Oh, messy, man.
R.I.P. didn't even respond to us calling him out for calling Trevin an idiot. He's just like, I just got 4 liters of Mountain Dew. Let's get it.
And then he asked, should he go to Wendy's or Taco Bell?
Wendy's is open at 1 a.m. where you're at? There ain't no Wendy's in Vancouver that's open at 1 a.m. Sadly. And the Jack in the Box that's open is like 10 miles away.
I don't know if that's saying something about our streams or about Denther that he had time to go pick up a girl at a bar, get it in, and we're still streaming.
Bro, what? Yeah. I mean, you might be dissing yourself a little bit, but yeah. Congrats, I guess. Maybe not on your performance, but on the action itself.
Man, it's tough right now.
True.
You can't go out and socialize as much, so it's
true. So I guess it is an accomplishment, no matter how long the experience was.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it is rough.
Oh my goodness. Clackamas boys. I thought you said you were in Portland, idiot. R.I.P.
He said Happy Valley, which is basically Portland, but yeah.
Yeah, see, and now he's saying Clackamas, though. So apparently he's in...
Clackamas is like a Beaverton. Like, it's just a suburb of Portland, so...
Yeah, well, it's like... Yeah. I'm not saying Vancouver's a suburb of Portland, technically. I ain't saying I'm from Portland. I'm from Vancouver, man.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I was just trying to, like, get some revenge for Trevin by going out. I don't know. Trevin's... Yeah. Trevin's probably falling asleep. He's still... He was talking the other day about how he's used to waking up around 7 or 8 a.m., so... I don't know. That was the Twitter group chat that you're not in because you're not cool, Eric.
Go to Taco Bell.
Go to Wendy's
because I don't want to have I don't want to get involved with the conversation with the people that are in that group chat.
It would drive you insane, man. Hey, I have changed the way. I like to think that I've changed the way a lot of them think. So I am making headway. You know, it's just part of the campaign to unbrainwash Blazer fans.
Yeah. I prefer to do that out in the open versus where no one else can see it.
There's a lot of people. There's like 50-some people in that group chat. The other guy who runs Rip City Project with Stevie is actually in that group chat. Which why the conversation got on Stevie, and I forgot he was in that group chat, the other guy who ran it, and I was talking about Stevie a little bit. I didn't say anything bad. I was just saying why Stevie hates me. My mic just fell off the desk, and so did my mouse. Hopefully none of you guys are deaf.
It wasn't too bad.
I don't even know how that fell. That was very ghostly, but I don't know. Anyway, I don't even know why I'm talking about this. I don't even, like, this is the type of night where I just literally just ramble on about just the most random shit. And it's also past midnight, so I can cuss. That's the rule. Dude, how do I screw this mic? This mic's like wobbly.
No, it's bad.
Oh, apologies.
There we go.
I was trying to, like, the mic, like, wobbles in the stand and stuff. I don't know. It's weird. I still got to learn this mic. But, yeah, no, go Wendy's, bro. I've already told you go Wendy's, man. Taco Bell will make you feel terrible in the morning. Wendy's will make you feel like in the morning. I'd rather feel in the morning than terrible. I mean, maybe if you have like a whole package of Tums, maybe go to Taco Bell. Like, I think Taco Bell should pass out Tums with your meal. You know how like Panda Express passes out the fortune cookies with your Panda Express? Like, Taco Bell's thing should be passing out Tums with their Taco Bell, because I swear, man, it's heartburn, ass burn, everything burns when you eat Taco Bell and you need Tums. So if you don't got any, definitely go Wendy's. I don't have Wendy's as an option, so I might get Taco Bell and regret it tomorrow, but... Is that ball behind you signed? Yeah, it is, actually. You got Myers on there. You got Dame on there. You got Marc Gasol on there. I think you got Batum on there.
Marc Gasol.
Yeah, Marc Gasol. I don't know if any other Grizzlies signed. I think it was just Marc Gasol. It was like 5 years
from a Blazers Grizzlies game or something.
Yeah, it was from like 6 years ago. We went down to the tunnel. Used to be able to go down to the tunnel where the players park, and after the game, like the bus is there too in the same area. And after the game, players would come and like sign for like the few fans that were able to like get down there. Because like at the end of the third quarter, for like 2 minutes, they would open up the elevator that goes down there, so you wouldn't even be able to get to see the rest of the game, but you could go down there and get autographs for the players that like were willing to go over. So like Dame.
Yeah.
Dame.
I used
Batum.
Back in the like 80s and early 90s, I used to wait at players' cars. Yeah.
You would wait at their cars? We had like a gated area.
Yeah, no, there was like you could just go chill in the parking lot by their cars, and then they come out and you could like talk to them and stuff. I know, it was weird.
You asked for like a ride home
No,
from Clyde Drexler.
No, but I did talk to Clyde several times doing that.
Oh, was he chill? Was it like?
Yeah, he was always nice. He'd always like sign something, but I was like a little kid, so.
Did he end up recognizing you at some point, or?
No, it wasn't like that. I'm talking like once a year, like.
Oh. Yeah, you made it sound more often, but then I was gonna say like probably a generic white-looking kid.
No, he signed. I have a Clyde Drexler shirt, but he autographed the back of it, but he's like on the front of it. Like, I wish it was like right above where he was, but yeah, it's like.
Your... Okay. It's too late. The people.
But yeah.
The fattest. Or this man's literally given. We're literally like, okay, we're gonna sign off. No, RIP Blazers giving us a play-by-play of his Taco Bell ordering. Wait, are you at Taco Bell or are you at Wendy's?
He's probably at Taco Bell.
RIP. Where are you at? What did you go with?
Taco Bell.
Bro, I told you go Wendy's. 302nd Bay. No, I'm just kidding. I want this play-by-play, and then I'm going to get off because it's one. Or Eric can decide when we get off. Eric, you decide when we get off.
Yeah, let's get off. I need to get to bed. Make sure my kids are in bed. I think they all passed out. Yeah.
The one time of the stream we don't hear freaking Godzilla wrecking a Lego village in the background. Cravings box, yeah, you're gonna regret that in the morning. RIP to you, RIP Blazers, because you're gonna be dying tomorrow. Did Dane Sheldon respond back to you, Tori? Nope. I got more likes than his tweet did, though. And he's the actual media guy. I'm just the YouTuber, but
Who did he want?
He wanted Alan Crabb, and he thought it was a no-brainer. I was like, how is a one-dimensional shooter who has only shot 36% from three the last 2 years
I forgot who
and is often injured? How's that a no-brainer? Like, ridiculous. Just because he's familiar with the system doesn't mean he'll be any better than the trash he's been the last 2 years. Like, I don't know. I don't get that. Oh, he's familiar with the system. Yeah, well, he's been trash, and doesn't mean he's... All he does is shoot threes anyway. It's not hard for him to fit in. Like, he just sits on the arc.
What? That reminds me.
What?
Is Tim Frazier on a team right now?
No. Maybe.
I don't.
Isn't he on the Pistons?
This is the last played for the Pistons.
So he's not on the team.
Let's see if he. Oh yeah, it said he played 27 games.
Do you think we should have signed him?
If you're talking about like a guy who knows the system, I mean he hasn't been good the last couple of years, but
yeah, it's been so long. He's been in so many different systems. I feel like he doesn't remember.
Friends with Dame.
Yeah, I mean that would have been cool, but
it looks like he got waived before because his last game played was on February 5th, so that was a full month before.
Yeah.
But yeah,
he's also just absolute garbage. Like, I was never impressed with him, man. He can pass. That's literally it.
There's another former G League MVP.
Who? Tim Frazier?
Yeah.
How was he ever even a G League MVP?
He killed it in the G League the year we picked him up at the end of the season.
Yeah, no, I don't understand how. He literally can't score to save his life. I feel like you have to score in the G League. I don't know how he was scoring enough in the G League. And then he was such a bad NBA scorer.
He's just a bad shooter. If he can get to the rim, he's fine. But yeah, he needs to be in like a fast break system.
If he could shoot, he might be a decent backup point guard. But like,
all the spots where he's played well are teams that like get out and run, and he can use his skills in the open court. But yeah,
so
half court offense, he's struggling. Yeah.
Your boy got his taco. Congratulations, RIP Blazers. You know how to drive to a Taco Bell, and then you know how to order through the drive-through speaker. I am proud of you.
Hey.
What?
Nothing. I was gonna say something, but I decided to keep.
What the hell was that? Oh my god!
I was gonna say something along the lines of, "Hey, that's further along than I thought he would get in the drive-through," but I decided.
Yeah, normally when you say that, you follow it up with something. So the fact you're just like, "Hey."
I'm trying not to be mean.
Hey, he called Trevin an idiot, so it's no hold bars on RIP tonight. He insulted Trevin, and Trevin's my guy, so he's on the bad side. I should have just 300-second banned his ass. I'm gonna do it right before we're gonna sign off right now. I need an audio clip of that. Hey, that sounded funny, bro. I wish there was like an easy way to have you guys like be able to clip segments of streams. That'd be awesome. Because that would be like it would be cool to have audio effects for streams. Every time Eric says something like "diss in Vancouver," I just play the audio clip of Eric saying "Hey." That'd be funny. He'd be saying it to himself. That'd be perfect.
You'd have like my comment about blowing up those balloons.
Oh my god, bro!
You could just play that.
In the next 4 months, I will hopefully get it like an audio board or something, a soundboard. When I move out, that'll be something that'll be like one of the channel upgrades. Be able to like, because streamers can like put voice effects on their voices live. That would be cool to do just randomly, and then like get like a soundboard. That'd be fun. That'd bring like an extra dimension to streams. I'll constantly think of ways to like make streams better. So for now, it's just the mic upgrade. That's dope. But over the next 4 months, we'll get a soundboard. That'll be fun. Because that hit would have been perfect. Torrey Crab is a 38.7% 3-point shooter over his career. Yeah, last 2 years he's 36%. So I'm a basis shooting off of what he's done recently, which is be okay 3-point specialist who's not good.
He's not a good defender.
Yeah, he's a 3-point specialist who's not special in regards to threes. So yeah, he's one dimensional, and the one dimension isn't good. It's just average. So not a fan. You can find a lot of guys in the G League that can shoot 36% from three and provide nothing else. Jaylen Adams, I think, can do more than that. So, yeah, I've never been on the board. Scarce here? Man, all right, we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys for watching.
It's been a fun stream.
Let me hit RIP Blazers with that 300-second ban, even though it removes all his comments, but I don't know. I don't think anybody watches it back anyway. So, anyway, there. 300-second ban for
go to
RIP.
bed.
He's going to be...
Destrom comes back in right at the end.
Yeah, man, that's Destrom's thing. Shout out to Travioli coming back. I hope to see you again, man, in the next
He joined Discord.
He did. Let's go, man. I missed you, bro. It's good to have you back. It's good to talk to you, Anime Jake, man. Haven't talked to you in a while, so good to see some of you guys that I haven't been able to talk to lately. Shout out Marco. Just giving all you guys a shout out. Sorry if I missed you, but yeah, good old Scalabrini. Scalabrini gets the shout out just with his name being colored. So, but I turned the notifications on for the other channel. I'm here, baby. Let's go, man. It's good to have the community kind of coming back together. It'll be fun when the season can restart. and we can get back into the swing of things, especially since after the season, you got the draft, you got free agency right away, and then you got the start of the next season right after that. So I'm expecting, one more month of layoff, but then it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy starting in August, assuming everything goes to plan. So I'm looking forward to it. Appreciate it, Michael. I will catch you guys later, and until next time, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.